John, I cannot think of a worse situation. I can't imagine a worse situation because this is our last podcast before E3, and it's like E3 is so packed together that it's just coming out the seams, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you're trying to grab like silly putty, like a handful of silly putty, and it all just comes oozing out your fingers because you're trying to hold on to it too tight. Sometimes game industry, you just gotta let a few things leak, and leak they have, and not just games. They had like movies and trailers and everything. And I got 3 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah.
And like 4 hours of sleep the night before that.
Yeah.
So I'm running on pure chemicals.
I could think of one worse situation.
Tell me about it.
Same sleep situation. Zero news. Nothing to talk about. No trailers. No video games. No nothing.
Interesting.
And you have to struggle to find something to talk about because you have nothing.
Interesting. You know the other worst part? This is the only thing to say before we start to get into it. Is that yesterday?
Yeah.
I ordered new pillows.
Oh, okay.
I ordered like $40 pillows.
Nice.
Like they're full of this like crazy memory foam that's all shredded up. You can like literally take it out and like to customize your pillow. It comes in a little bag that you can put the extra foam into.
Oh, okay.
Most comfortable pillows of all time.
Nice.
I got them yesterday. I get to sleep on this pillow for 3 hours and my alarm went off. And I was just like, no, for the first time in years, I'm having the greatest sleep of my life. But I had to get up.
Yeah.
So, boo. Anyway, let's get to it. There's a shitload.
There's a lot.
We're going to have to go fast through just like, there are like 4 trailers.
We're going to have to Sonic. Got to go fast.
Don't talk to me about that rodent, about that blue, about that azure rodent, John. You know how I feel. No, not today. Any other day. Like I saw that in the first episode of New Fooly Cooly. Guess what? We'll talk about it next week. I don't give a fuck. We don't have time because movie trailers. There are so many of them. What the fuck?
There's 4.
There are 4. That's more, but they're 4 good ones.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like, one good one and then like a Netflix show and then some bullshit.
Oh, there's probably trailers for Netflix stuff too.
Almost certainly. First up, John, you got to tell me about this whole Spider-Verse because Enter the Spider-Verse looks dope as
Spider-Man
fuck.
Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, man, it looks fucking dope.
Like, first off, what's the weird thing where it's like it's 3D, but it's like they've taken frames out to make it almost look like it's stopping.
Yeah, it almost looks like a comic panel.
Yeah,
like with the Ben-Day dots and everything. Mm-hmm. It looks really fucking rad.
It looks like a Telltale game. If a Telltale game had any style, sorry. Yeah. So this is Miles Morales, and this is going to be in theaters. This isn't like a Warner Brothers directed like.
Yeah, this is theaters, man.
And so I wasn't. Is this the Ultimates universe?
So this is the theory.
Because that Green Goblin is a big old Ultimates looking Green Goblin.
It is, but the running theory is that this is not the Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
That this is a yet another universe.
Okay.
That Miles Morales is growing. That this Miles Morales is growing in, because there's some differences between what's going on with this what we see in the trailer versus what we see in the comics.
Okay.
There's some running theories.
Who's that?
About what's going on, but I mean, having said that, because I mean, there's the whole thing is like, my world is not like yours,
right? Yeah, And is the Spider-Man here? Is this Peter Parker? This like greasy?
It's like an older Peter Parker. Yeah.
Okay. And
so there's 2 theories going on with the Peter Parker. Is that this Peter Parker is actually not from this universe? That this is a Peter Parker who's traveling through the Spider-Verse to all the different universes.
Because that's a whole thing they have, right? The web,
the web of reality.
Okay.
But we know that there is a Spider-Man. There was a Spider-Man in this reality.
Right.
Apparently, somewhere it's confirmed that the Spider-Man maybe died.
Okay.
And that he becomes the new Spider-Man, and then this guy shows up who is Peter Parker from another universe, probably.
Yeah.
Who could be the Spider-Man from the regular, Spider universe. But regardless,
right.
He's teaching Miles the ropes, so to speak. And he wants him to be his own Spider-Man. He doesn't want him to be like Peter. He wants him to be the best Spider-Man that he can be.
Is that the Shocker?
No, I think it's Prowler.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm kind of frame by frame.
Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle.
Oh, okay. Spoiler alert. God.
Well, that's from the comics.
Well, yeah, but I ain't read.
That's how Miles Morales got his powers.
I will say though that man, one of the things that I really do like about this is that it's got style.
It's got style. It's got humor. It's got
even when you look at like Batman Ninja, yes, but like if you go back and look at like the Warner Brothers animated stuff that they've been doing, it's all very it all just looks like the old Batman the animated series. I feel like a lot of it looks the flat colors. It's kind of gone off in its own direction, but I feel like it's very samey looking.
Yeah, well, yeah, the animation for a lot of the Warner Brothers animated movies is definitely designed to be very samey.
Whereas I just got finished this weekend. Scott Pilgrim versus the World was on HBO, and I kind of just found myself watching it, and that like seems more like what I'm seeing here, of a very kind of like bombastic, stylistic. It seems like they've got a kind of a weird.
It's like dichotomy. I almost don't care what's going on in the movie because what's going on the screen is so mesmerizingly badass looking.
Yeah,
that I am just fucking in love with it.
Yeah, there's that one shot in the trailer where he's like falling back into the city, but they've got the frame reversed, so it looks like he's falling kind of like upwards into the city. That looks really cool. Everything about this looks really cool.
Yeah, I am in love with everything about this trailer. I am going to go see this. Like, I am more excited about this than any other movie coming up.
I'm more excited about this than I am about Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
This looks like it's got some identity. It's got an identity. I also
like the fact that we have an older Peter Parker. He's not a teenager. This is kind of, we're dealing with an older version of him.
And then I don't read the comics, so then apparently we've also got Spider-Gwen.
Which I kind of wish they hadn't done this reveal in the trailer.
Yeah, because it would have been a cool thing for the movie.
Yeah. Also, there's some differences with the Spider-Gwen that I thought was interesting. Like, her boots are ballet shoes, which are not like that in the comics because she's a punk rock girl. Okay. So that's weird, but whatever.
I say, I'm glad. One of the biggest reasons that I'm glad about this is because I look at this trailer and I don't recognize 90% of what's in it. Like, I know the name Miles Morales, but I've never read the comics. And like, man, I love comic books, but like for something like Spider-Man, there have been so many Spider-Mans that if it was just like, oh no, Peter Parker got bitten and the Green Goblin is here. Will he go out with Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane? It's just like, all next you're going to be telling me how Bruce Wayne's parents got shot after they went to a movie and Superman's planet blew up. Like, I don't need to know all this Spider-Man stuff. So I like the fact that it's a bunch of new Spider-Man stuff that I've never seen before, because it means that I don't know what the fuck is going on.
And the source material it's based on is fucking good. So it's like, I am like, even if it only uses like a fraction of the source material, I am totally on board.
It's like the fact that the new Spider-Man game has the Negative Man or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, good. I don't want to see Electro or the Vulture or
probably will
Scorpion or whatever.
They're just not the main villain.
Yep. Anyway, moving on.
I'm totally on board for Into the Spider-Verse. It's badass.
If you want your stop animation, less Spider-Man and more Batman, well, then the Lego Movie 2 maybe has you covered.
The sequel.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or the second one, I think it's called.
I don't have... This is eminently charming. It's funny how I feel like the Lego Movie proper... And then like Lego Batman was fun, and there was like the Flash one that I never watched.
Well, that's kind of its own separate thing, but yeah.
But like this trailer just has like a razor sharp charm to it that I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
I want to watch that. Like, I like the dumb jokes with Chris Pratt character.
I cannot wait for the Lego sets of like Mad Max style Lego sets.
Oh yeah.
I am gonna be fucking psyched.
Yep. But this looks really good. It appears that, I mean, from near as I can tell, it appears that the cast from the original Lego movie are going to the girl Lego universe.
Yeah.
Those weird tall girl Legos that they made. It seems like all your favorites are back. We saw Batman, the space guy, the Charlie Day space guy, and then the pirate guy. But that guy was like way bigger in the other movie, right? It was
big Metalbeard.
Yeah. And what's her face? Princess Kitty or whatever.
Princess Kitty, yeah.
Anyway, this also looks absolutely charming and fantastic. The first Lego movie was such a like, what? This movie is excellent.
Yeah.
This movie has no business being this good.
Yeah, no, and I loved every second of it.
Plus, I really, really, really enjoy the way that they that they make everything in the Lego universe out of Legos. I was watching, I think it was, it might have been I Hate Everything, or it might have been Your Movie Sucks, one of those two guys, where they actually showed how in the Batman movie, there were like frames where Robin had essentially like an elongated leg in a keyframe, and the way that the leg was elongated was that they literally had taken the leg and then put Lego parts, like they had built it out.
It's all done digitally, but it's all using like actual, like only what, like they don't fake it,
right?
Like it's the rule is, and this goes for the Lego movie, Lego Ninjago, and Lego Batman. Those three movies. I don't know if the other like directed DVD movies follow the same rule, but the rule is, if you can't do it in stop motion, it cannot be done in this. So it's like they're doing it all digitally. It's all CGI. But it's all using actual existing Lego pieces.
I understand why this can't be a thing. So, don't at me. But like, I wish the Lego games looked like this and worked like that. Like one of the things in the Lego games that always kind of like takes me out of it is eventually somewhere they just start cheating with stuff. And also, like, I feel like in this trailer there's some stuff about this lighting engine and the particle, like on some of the detailed particle stuff on like these characters that you can't do. But I also feel like the Telltale Traveler's Tales Legos games have not upped their engine game in a while. Like they're still very much making games that could be played on the Xbox 360. And I'm like, you could make it look this good. You could give it a really dynamic looking lighting engine so that it looks more like Legos, or give it a texture so that it looks more like Legos. I've seen what the PlayStation can do, or the Xbox, or the PC. Bump it up and make it look like this Lego movie, because it's also just gorgeous. Like, it just looks absolutely gorgeous.
By the way, speaking of Lego stuff, did you see some guy made in Lego Worlds made the Dark Souls
Firelink Shrine?
Yeah, Firelink Shrine.
Yes, that was going to be the fun thing that we talked about before we cut to break, but that's all right.
I'm sorry.
I had two fun things because I thought I might get spoiled. I'm always on the lookout for spoilers. I'm always diligent for spoilers, even in my news segments.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I just figured we're talking about Lego movies.
Absolutely. It's a great segue. It segues us all the way to the end, and it's like, hey, that's part one, everybody.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, John just hit the ladder in podcast shoots and ladders that takes us from the first 10 minutes to the hour breaks.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Okay, so next up we got Bumblebee, the Bumblebee standalone movie. I think this looks boring, John.
I think it looks better than the Michael Bay movies.
So Matt and I have been having this conversation, and I've kind of come to a thing that I would like to put out there into the world. Brian Salisbury and a lot of other people like to fucking get at me about not hating the Transformers movies.
I don't care if people don't hate them.
Well, I'm not even saying that. What I have finally figured out in my head is that I don't necessarily like the Transformers movies. It's just, where the fuck else am I going to watch robots blow each other up?
Agreed.
Like, if you show me another franchise and not a guy in a suit, like I want big CGI explosions. Because Matt was talking to me about watching the second Transformers movie, and I'm like, 90% of that movie is garbage. Like, I hate all the Shia LaBeouf stuff and the racist robots and all that shit. I just like the part at the end where all the robots are blowing each other up, and it's like all the epic music, and fucking Michael Bay knows how to shoot an explosion. So if you can show me a movie with explosions that's got robots.
Oh, don't get me wrong. When Michael Bay said he was getting Transformers, I went, okay, I believe he can do it.
Yes. They've gotten progressively worse until this last one, which was just utter garbage.
Yeah. And now we have someone who is not Michael Bay making a Transformers movie.
So,
called Bumblebee. That's a prequel.
Yeah.
That takes place in the 80s.
So the only problem that I'm having with this is that, like, I'm not seeing much. It just seems like a movie. It seems to be skewing much younger for just like, oh, it's a story about friendship. It's a story about your first car. Bumblebee and this girl, and they're learning to like each other and hang out and do
it's not
stuff.
Like there's not action stuff happening in the trailer, though.
There's some action stuff, but
they're just trying to show people that this is this is kind of its own thing, and things are going to happen, and
there's less action. Also, I think that girl has I think she's in love with that robot. I think she's in love with Bumblebee.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And then you got John Cena.
Oh yeah.
Though, I wasn't 100% sure because I couldn't see him.
Is John Cena there? I just saw there was a bunch of military guys and then a big big white spot. So
I was a little confused for a moment, but apparently his name's in the trailer. So
I like the G1 Starscream
color screen, the color.
Scheme, yeah. And I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just, I guess it looks. I don't know. I liked the part in the Transformers movies where the Transformers blew each other up. I'll probably see this at some point in my life, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. See, here's the thing: if they had played this, and didn't have the Bernie Mac monologue
right.
From the first movie,
like it's the most important thing from the first movie.
If they didn't have that over it,
right,
and then came out and said this doesn't take place in the Michael Bay movies. We're starting over from scratch. We're using elements of that, but we don't consider those canon anymore. This is the first movie.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you know what? I'm on board. Let's do it.
I mean,
but because they have that there, that means that there is no way that this separates itself from that franchise.
I don't know. You remember Ghostbusters had the little da-da-da-da-da with the Ghostbusters logo? It's a reboot.
Yeah.
It's a reimagining. I don't know what to say anymore.
I still like that movie, though. But so
everybody gets all pissed off about Dark Souls Remastered because it's not a remaster. It is a remaster. It's not a remaster.
But I mean, I have optimism that it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Bay has already killed all the hope, so I have no hope that it'll be good. But I'm optimistic that it might be good. If that makes sense.
Logically, you can see a path where it could be good. In your heart, you're dead inside because Michael Bay has stabbed your love of the franchise to death.
Yeah. No, I mean, not my love of the toys, because my love of the toys can never die.
Right.
But yeah, that's
okay. And last but not least, Ralph is breaking the internet. We got another Wreck-It Ralph 2 trailer. This one was... I really think that this looks very good.
I enjoyed it.
I like the jokes. I feel like I've seen a bunch of people online that are just like, ugh, this is just the Emoji Movie, but like Disney's making it. And I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Because the Emoji Movie is like Tron or Reboot, but like modern. And like, if the Emoji Movie was written well, it could have been very good. If Lord and Miller had wrote the Emoji Movie and it hadn't been a cash grab, I feel like it could have been very good. Like, I like this joke about the autocomplete where Ralph's trying to ask for information and the guy keeps trying to finish his sentences. I like the joke with the Disney princesses.
Yeah, that was, and I love the fact that, with the exception of a few, all the voice actresses for the Disney princesses, are the original voice actresses. The few that are not are because those actresses aren't alive anymore.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I like the way they look. I like this joke where Cinderella breaks the glass slipper to use as a weapon.
Yeah, like I'm gonna cut you
to brandish. Jasmine just is holding up the genie lamp. Like, I don't know. I like this a lot. The first Wreck-It Ralph was a very good video game movie that had a heart and was fun. And it made me like Rihanna, so
So you know what? I'm looking forward to this. I think it'll be fun. Hopefully, as fun as the first movie. And I like the fact that they're not they're not just focusing on like video game stuff like the first movie.
Yeah,
like they're kind of branching out. They're trying to do something a little bit different.
Yeah,
and I'm totally on board for that.
Yep. Yeah, looks good. I like the fact that they're using the Disney stuff. I like the fact they're using the Star Wars stuff. I like the line where the princesses are all describing how they've been abused.
Should I call somebody?
Yeah, Vanellope is like, yes, do you guys need help? I even like the little self-aware joke at the end about where he's like, shouldn't it be Ralph wrecks the internet instead of Ralph breaks the internet? And I don't even know who this other character is. It's just like, yeah, it probably should be that, but...
breaking the internet's kind of a thing.
Yeah. So, okay, movies. There's a bunch of them. They're coming out. But guess what? Also video games. There's a bunch of them. They're coming out, including it's Christmas, it's joy, it's everything is right in the world, 3 hours of sleep. It doesn't matter. I'm going to die of a heart attack tomorrow. Well, that would matter. But
that would matter because you'd miss it.
Because I'd miss it. But as long as I can die of a heart attack in 2019, then at least I'll get to play Hitman 2. I know that was a really roundabout way to get to it, but fucking they announced Hitman 2.
Yeah. So, by the time this comes out, E3 press conferences will have already started this episode. So,
Wait,
forgive us.
Does Warner Brothers have their own conference?
No.
So I would assume that you're probably going to be seeing this at Sony or Microsoft.
You'll probably see it either at Sony or Microsoft's, and then there'll probably be some streaming stuff during the live stream.
I tell you what, I don't have all the footage here, but I watched their Facebook live stream, and they were showing off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, so, now a lot of companies that don't want to get overshadowed by the bigger reveals, which I'm really hoping that means we're going to get some really big reveals, because I kind of feel like all the little things that we're going to be talking about, and some of the stuff that we've talked about in previous weeks, I kind of feel like those are all semi-big. Like, those are all things that if they were announced at E3, you'd be like, whoa! But,
come out on stage and announce Hitman 2.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's like, like Rage 2, for example, or, whatever games that I can't
Fallout
think of.
76.
Yeah, Fallout 76.
Fallout fucking 76,
like,
they announced the Fallout
If these
game.
were announced at E3 instead of before E3, like, we'd be like, whoa, that's fucking amazing. Wow, this is a great announcement. But they're getting announced before. And typically they do that when they don't want it to be overshadowed, like they know that something, or they want to focus on something else and don't want this to get lost in the shuffle.
What I'm hoping is that Rage and Fallout and even like Hitman have done these, and that, we're going to see them again at E3.
Oh, yeah, in more depth.
With gameplay. That they've gotten the trailer. Because you know what? There have been a few years where at a press conference, somebody comes out and they're just like, check out this trailer. Check out this trailer. And sometimes Sony does that, but they do it usually pretty well by having a bunch of trailers for games you didn't know about or whatever. But like sometimes it's just like, look at this trailer. Like, I feel like EA has had a couple of real bum conferences where it's just like, look at a trailer. Here's a trailer.
Feel like, especially for Hitman, because they announced the release date for it.
Yes.
And it's not that far away.
November! It's also not episodic!
And it's not episodic.
It's the whole game in November! Not just that, but if you pre-order, and you guys know me, I'm not, but I am. I'm doing it. You shouldn't do as I say, not as I do. If you pre-order Hitman 2 right now, the day that they've announced it, Thursday, not Sunday, because we're recording this on Thursday, they've got a sniper challenge mode that you can play right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And it's got online co-op.
Yeah, with new characters.
What? Stop it, man! Somebody's been reading my dream journals, all of them.
So I shouldn't have been sending that to IO Interactive.
No, send them faster.
Oh, okay.
Don't steal them. I'll give them to you.
Oh, okay.
So the trailer that we have here generally is focused on a race that's happening in Miami that 47 is trying to take out one of the racers, and it's showing kind of a bunch of different ways to do that, whether it's sabotaging the car, getting in a position where you can snipe. It looks like, here's the thing. Hitman 2016 looked fucking great when it came out.
Yeah.
This looks as good, if not better.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It looks great. This trailer looks fantastic. The only thing that I can be a little bit slightly muted about is that Hitman 2016 had a storyline that did end on a cliffhanger, and I'm really hoping that they don't fucking forget about the character that was in Hitman 2016 in Hitman 2.
From what I've heard, that they're not. Like, that's going to be part of it. Like, that's part of the overarching story.
Outside of that, I tell you what, man, if this game is just 6 more levels with some escalations and some contracts and some remix levels, if this game is basically just Hitman 2 or Hitman 2016 but more of it, I am going to be 100% fantastic and on board for that. I don't feel like I mean, there's maybe some slight quality of life improvements. I'd like to see an offline mode. I'd like to see the unlocks not.
Well, I'm pretty sure there will be an offline mode this time, because if I remember correctly, the online mode was kind of a mandate.
Yeah. Well, but we also know that this is Warner Brothers that they're working for.
I mean, the Warner Brothers is the publisher this time. They were going to release this before Warner Brothers agreed to publish it. So I feel like Warner Brothers just agreed to publish it.
Yeah.
Or bought them. I don't remember.
I'm still a little salty about the fact that I didn't get all of those Warner Brothers re-release edition skins.
Oh, yeah.
That apparently they wanted me to buy the whole game over again. I'm just like, no, man. I already bought that game twice. And I bought the upgrade for your Game of the Year edition. So, nah. Anyway, though, I couldn't be happier. I'm I love the only thing I never thought, John, that I would live in a world where these words would come out of my mouth. The only thing that gives me pause is that Hitman 2016 was the best episodic video game I've ever played in my life, and it was good that it was episodic because it meant that you had time between episodes to really like replay each level. I can't almost imagine what it would be like to even play Hitman 2016 now that it's all released by just beating a level and then just going on to the next level, because so many of the tools that I used in the level after I got by unlocking them in the level before and then moving along through the game. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah, fucking November. Fucking Hitman. Fucking by the time this is out, there's probably already a video on the website. I'll be playing that sniper game because fucking I don't even like sniping. I don't even like it, but I don't care because Hitman.
Yeah.
You didn't?
I in all honesty, when I saw this news, I was like, oh, Jeff's gonna be happy.
Yay! I am. I'm very, very happy. You didn't really ever get into 2016 Hitman.
No, I mean, I've never really been super into the Hitman games. Like, I'd never hated them. Like, I actually, every time I've been handed a Hitman game from a friend or whatnot, I've always enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a huge, like, I gotta play that new Hitman game.
For me, it's weird because Hitman's a niche that you don't get from a lot of games.
Yeah.
It's modern day, which is weird. It's modern day in the world and, like, less in a post-apocalyptic world or combat zone or whatever. Like, it's not modern warfare. It's like, here's a little city in Italy, and then like I love the sandbox of figure out how to assassinate this person.
I mean, one of the things I will say about all the Hitman games is what I've liked is that they don't make it's not open world, but it is open level.
Yeah,
and they make a very dense level that you can just do so much in.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I used to do whenever a new Hitman episode would come out would be I would just go into the level and just like walk around and look at stuff, because there's always stuff all over the place. And if you get the right uniform that you can get into certain places, you'd be like, hey, I wonder what's over here. Oh, hey, look, it's this thing, or it's an Easter egg, or I can use that to kill somebody with.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, all right, let's talk Sony, because Sony is doing this whole countdown to E3 thing, which is pretty cool, where they announced we're on Thursday, so they announced a new PS4 game on Wednesday and then release date for a big title on Thursday.
What was the new game on Wednesday?
Tetris.
Oh,
which we're going to talk to about it in a minute, but Friday, tomorrow, by the time this comes out, we'll have seen Friday they have a new PS4 game, Saturday a new PSVR game, and Sunday a PSVR port of an eagerly anticipated game. I don't know. What I do know though is that, wow, Sony, you're doing a good job. Good job.
I actually understand why they're doing this, because I actually have a feeling that a lot of people may be a little disappointed by Sony.
Because of the 4 games.
Because they said, we're only going to talk about these 4 games.
Yeah.
Now, I have a feeling
one of them's going to be Death Stranding, and I think the other might be Bloodborne 2, and so...
No, they said what 4 games they are.
Oh, what are they?
It's Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, and then...
God of War 2.
Shit, I don't remember what the 4th game was.
Oh, okay.
But it's not...
It's not Bloodborne 2.
Like, it's a known game. Like, it's a game that we all know about, and it's not really new. Oh, it's
Days Gone? Ghosts of
Tsushima, whatever it's called.
That one.
Yeah, that one. The I forget the title of it, but yeah, it's like Ghosts of whatever.
Yeah.
It's that. Those are the 4 titles. They're like, cool. We're only focusing on these titles. We're not going to be talking about anything else. Absolutely nothing else. Now, there's a part of me that thinks they're saying that, but there is going to be a WTF moment.
Yeah.
In that press conference, either it's going to be, oh, we said these were the 4 games we're going to talk about. Well, we got one more thing to show you, and then show something else,
2.
or.
Demon's Souls Remastered.
The other thing is that Death Stranding is going to have some type of a announcement, like huge announcement with it, and it comes out next month.
Right. I think it's time in the cycle to see Death Stranding, not a trailer.
No. I think we're going to get gameplay,
and I would be willing to give up everything else. I would be willing to give up anything else that they would show. You could take Last of Us, Spider-Man, Ghosts of whatever. You take all those out. You take Bloodborne 2 out. You take everything out. If all the Sony press conference was just 45 minutes of Hideo Kojima walking you through Death Stranding, I'd be cool with that. But that's me, and I realize that's not everybody. But
so that's my theory. If you want my
but you know what? They've been
wild speculation.
You remember last year, Sony was really good about going up to their press conference. They had a bunch of announcements before they even started their press conference. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, today we got a new trailer for Days Gone and a release date. So February 22nd is the release date. What do you think about this trailer, John?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. This game has not interested me in any way, shape, or form since they announced it.
Yeah,
like it has just not been doing it for me. This one kind of made me interested for some reason,
a little bit, kind of,
but didn't make this. I'm gonna buy this game when it comes out. It didn't make that, but it definitely made me kind of go, okay. Well, I guess I got my eye on it now. I want to know a little bit more.
I think all of the architecture that we've seen from Days Gone looks great. I need to play it and see if it's any good, because I feel like it could go either way. Like the game like this, the trailer that they've made with the visuals that they have, it's kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn, where you look at Horizon Zero Dawn and you go, this could really go either way. This could be a really good game, or it could just become cash grab garbage that I don't care about.
Yeah.
It really is going to depend on the story and like how the world fits together. Like we've seen in this trailer, I think we've seen the wolves before, but there's like crows, like zombie crows.
The crows. Now we also found out about not only do we have the not zombies, but we also have a cult called the RIP, the Rest in Peacers, who are people who worship the not zombies, and they will kill anyone who is alive, but they will leave the not zombies alone.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't know. Also, at the very beginning of this, there's a guy in a cowboy hat. It looks like every time I see him turn around, it just reminds me of like a Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead trailer, the way that's framed. So I don't know. Like it's one of those things where what they've shown, again, could really go either way. If they lean too hard on like the horde aspects and the story is too light, then maybe not. But if they do the right balance, this seems like one of those games where you look at it and it maybe doesn't look like The Last of Us. I feel like when I looked at it, the first Last of Us, it was just like, I don't know, it's a zombie game. Like, I've played so many good zombie games, and I played a lot of really shitty zombie games, and I played zombie games everywhere in between. So, like, just because it's zombies doesn't mean it's good or bad.
Zombie-like creatures.
Yes, or zombie infected or whatever they're going to call them this time. You know, it doesn't mean it's good or bad. There's nothing so far in these trailers about the protagonist or the characters that make it seem super interesting, but there's nothing that makes it seem like they're bad either. It's just I don't have a good handle on them. So, I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah, it's before where I saw these trailers and went, meh, not for me, won't buy it.
Yeah.
Or not even going to look at it. This trailer did kind of make me go, all right, I'm willing to let you do something, show me more. I'm willing to let you show me more to make me interested.
Convince me.
Convince me, Sony. I see enough there that I like that I want to be convinced that this is going to be good.
Fair enough.
But I'm still not on board yet.
Well, how do you feel about being convinced to dance, motherfucker? Because Persona 5 and Persona 3 are Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, Persona 3 Dancing in the Moonlight are both coming to the United States.
I've never played a Persona game.
Woo! Not even one of the core ones?
No, I've never played any of the Persona games. I mean, I watched I stupidly watched the Persona 4 Golden animation. Which is not the main animation. Yeah. It's like a bunch of it just covers the new content that was included with Persona 4 Golden. Mm-hmm. And so it didn't make any sense to me. Surely. But yet I watched that entire series for some reason. Yeah. I tried watching the Persona 5 animation that's been coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I got 2 episodes in and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I don't really understand what's going on. And that's not to say they're not good, and that's not to say that I wouldn't like them if I played the games. I've never really played them, so
there's I get you, because I like core Persona. I'm not a big fan of all of the accoutrements around that. Like, these games are just rhythm dancing games.
Yeah.
And I know there's a market for those, but I even look at the screen, you can even see what the gameplay in this looks like, where it's literally part of the buttons and then part of the arrow
it's
keys.
triangle, circle, X, up, left, and down.
Yeah, and it's just pushing buttons. I think I was actually thinking about this when I was watching these trailers. I think that if this was some kind of hybrid where it was like you're going through a dungeon, but then you fight by dancing, that could be really cool. Like if it was some kind of weirdo game, but just the idea of like, check out all the characters from this game franchise that you love. They're dancing. I'm like, that's for Japan. I don't understand that one. That's for Japan, and I'm glad that it's coming to the West because somebody's going to like it. Alex Linkowitz will certainly like it. He loves all those games. I am not really that big of a fan. But.
Yeah, I mean, I have no real attachment because I have no real connection to the games. Like literally, the most I could say is like I saw the first couple episodes of the anime of Persona 4, and then when you started playing the Persona 3, I was like, wait, isn't Persona 3 the one where they shoot themselves in the head with a gun?
Yep.
And you're like, yep, and I'm like, okay, that's all I know about that game.
Yep. That's it. That's pretty much it. So, yep, they're coming to the West. Huzzah. It's great. Good for you. Also coming to the West, Walking Dead, the final season, which we got a announcement for a little while back.
Yeah.
But we got a trailer along
Comes
with
out August 14th.
Yep, a release date. This is Clementine being a gloomy Gus talking to this kid who it said that this kid she's been taking care of him for a few games now.
Oh, I don't know. I've never played any of that. I played the first the first 2 or 3 episodes of the first season. I haven't played anything else.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am too. I mean, I played that one, and I played the second season, and then everybody got mad at me because I was like, "Fuck you, Clementine! You stole my van."
Yeah,
and like now you're like, "Hey, man, cover for me," and I'm like, "Fuck you! You stole my van, bitch!" And then you tried to shoot a guy. I think you did shoot a guy, and I'm not lying for you. Anyway,
yeah.
I guess if you're still into that, like really, heavy zombie shit, they're all talking about make sure you save the last bullet for yourself. And if I ever get bitten, shoot me in the head. I'm just like, guys, reality is grim enough as it is. I don't need your fucking super zombie game bumming me out.
All I remember about the first game is I actually did buy the first season, so I do actually own it on my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But I had bought it because at one point Amanda and I were going to record an entire playthrough of it for the purpose of one joke.
Okay.
Like we were going to play it all normally, but it was all to build up to one joke that me and her thought was fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And then we never did it.
Fair enough.
Because Grant sort of did the joke in y'all's playthrough of it.
Oh, no.
Sort of. Like, didn't do the joke exactly, but sort of. He referenced it. And
Grant!
So we were like, fuck it.
You guys did go outside and wave your hand at the sky and say, Grant!
Nah.
Oh, okay. That's what I like to do. I like to do that when I'm out of mustard, though. So this. Okay. So also, I feel like the last thing was what I talked about at the very beginning. The first day of the build up to E3, they had this trailer for the Tetris Effect. So this is going to be a new game from Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who made Rez and Luminous.
Two favorite games of mine.
Mm-hmm.
This game will be both. There is a VR mode attached to it, which I think is wonderful.
It's weird. I kind of want to see. This trailer is just talking about how people who play Tetris see Tetris blocks when they're not playing Tetris. The quote unquote Tetris effect. I'm interested to see what exactly happens here.
Yeah,
because I feel like.
I'll be honest, they kind of show like a little bit towards the end of what looks like what the game is probably going to look like, and it looks like what I would imagine a Tetris game would look like by the guy who made Lumens.
It's just Tetris, except that like there's all these particle effects that happen whenever you make a line. If that's all it is, that's fine. I always get a little upset when they try to change Tetris for the better, so
I'm on board for this because the music sounds good. Again, if it's just Luminous but Tetris with the Luminous like skin over it, I'm okay with that because I am all for good music and Tetris.
I don't know. Is there a mode where
gameplay?
It just makes it look like you're playing it on an 80 CRT, like on an NES?
Probably not.
Oh, man.
But I do kind of hope this comes out on the Switch.
Yeah.
So I can play it on the go.
I can see that.
Because, man, that'd be badass.
I can see that. Wow. Part of one of this recommended videos on my Tetris Effect here is the 2016 Classic Tetris World Championships. I kind of want to watch those. But there's no time. There's no time because we have more news to report. And as much as nice things as I've said about Sony, we now reach the part of the podcast that I like to call Jeff and John, that I like to call Microsoft. You can do better than that. Crackdown has been delayed.
Rumored.
Crackdown is rumored to have been delayed.
To 2019.
To 2019.
Which, so the running theory right now is that at E3 they will announce the release date of it again. Because I think they announced the release date of it at last E3 and then it got delayed. And they'll be like, oh, it's coming out for sure this time in like February 2019. Or they're not going to mention it at all. I think it's still going to get released, but I think it's going to be very much like they're going to try to ignore it.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm based on a lot of the rumors we've been hearing, Microsoft has got a lot of stuff that they're going to announce.
Yeah.
Whether there's rumors about a lot of stuff.
I hope so. I want them to be competitive.
Apparently, the big rumor is that they kind of realized that while they succeeded on their hardware promises, that they kind of dropped the ball when it came to games, and that this year they have done everything they can to not only have games that are coming out before the end of the year, but also games that we've not heard about, games that are coming out past the end of the year that are going to be announced for the first time.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. They need to use the money dump truck. They haven't been using the money dump truck the right way. They need to find people. They need to find people that are unattached to projects or who projects just end, or a studio that is unattached, or they need to back the money truck up to somewhere and be like, hey, CD Projekt Red, make Cyberpunk 2077 an Xbox One exclusive.
I feel like the problem, the mistake they made is not that you're right, they need to dump back the money dump truck up, but I think it's that they went, okay, let's worry about getting the operating system on the Xbox the best that it can be, and also make it integrate with the new Windows 10 so that we can get that cross-platform stuff. And then they were like, okay, let's also make the Xbox One the best it can be with Xbox One X. But while they were focused so hard on doing that, they kind of forgot that they have to have an actual product to put on the console. I
actually feel that if the playing field was equal, if we were living in the late PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era, that wouldn't be so much of a problem. The problem is that Sony got to that point sooner, and they've been doing nothing but games. Yeah. They've been doing the PS4 Pro and the PSVR was the last set of hardware that they put out, and that was a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that since then it's just been like God of War, fucking Horizon, Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, just game after game after game after game. And it snowballs to a point where you go, well, I can play all the games on either one of these, but the PlayStation 1 has an extra 30 to 40 AAA games that I really would be interested in playing, as opposed to... I keep forgetting that Detroit is a
PlayStation exclusive.
Exclusive.
So I definitely agree with you. I definitely think that they need to, I truthfully really kind of hope that while, yes, Insomniac just announced they're working on 3 different games right now, one of which is the, whatever. But I think something we're talking about later.
Oh, yeah.
But because I've forgot that we hadn't actually talked about it yet because we talked about it before the podcast.
Yep.
But I know Insomniac's got a bunch of games. There's a part of me that really hopes that Microsoft goes back and goes, hey, we'd like a sequel to Sunset Overdrive.
See, to me, I'm
just saying, as one thing, can you make a sequel to Sunset Overdrive that we can announce this year? All right, we got new Halo, new Gears of War, new Forza Horizon game, new. And I'm not saying these are the games they're going to announce. I'm just saying, these are the games that all of these games, a new exclusive other title.
See, you know what I think? I don't think that cuts the mustard anymore. I don't think that Microsoft coming out and saying, here's new Gears, here's new Halo, here's new Forza, is that we're all just like, yeah, like you've had one every 2 years. Like you've never stopped making Halo games. Here's the new Master Chief. Here's the new Gears of War. Like I feel like you need that moment where somebody comes out and they're like, hey, everybody, I'm Ken Levine. Here's my new game, and it's an Xbox One exclusive. And you're just like, okay,
all right.
And, again,
and my point here is that they have there's almost assuredly one, if not all of the games that I just mentioned are going to get announced. There's even the rumor that there's going to be more than one Gears of War announcement.
God damn.
That's one Gears of War in the main storyline and then like offshoot games, which I don't know if those were news items. But,
no, I don't have.
Apparently, one is going to be an RTS and the other one is going to be.
Why do they keep doing
a
that?
battle royale game?
Oh Jesus! Wow. Okay. All right.
Those are the rumors.
God damn.
But my point here being is that I want them to go to fucking get the new Otogi. Go to From Software and be like, Otogi did really good on the original Xbox.
Sure.
Otogi 1 and 2. Do Otogi 3 Xbox One exclusive.
I'd go. Splinter Cell was an Xbox exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Splinter Cell started its life on the original Xbox. I know because I wanted to play the first one really fucking bad, and I couldn't. Make the new Splinter Cell game. Back the money dump truck up to Ubisoft.
Have someone come out like, hey, we're a brand new studio that was developed from all this. Guess what? Crimson Skies 2, or franchise that we know that Microsoft owns the rights to that they're just not doing anything with.
Or something brand new.
Yeah,
or something
brand new.
Something that looks really good.
I'm just saying, I'm really hoping they pull it out and I'm hoping that if they can do that.
Yeah.
If they could announce not only a bunch of sequels to stuff that we already knew was going to come, but also a couple of maybe new, and even say, hey, this game, new title, wasn't previously announced. We're announcing it today. By the way, coming out in November.
Right.
I'd be like, all right, you give me at least 2 of those exclusive titles coming out, even if it's a 1-year timed exclusive, I don't fucking care.
Sure.
If you give me at least 2 of those coming out before the end of the year,
yep.
Then don't bother mentioning Crackdown. Just don't even, unless Crackdown is coming out today, unless you come out on stage and go, Crackdown 3, greatest thing. Guess what? It's available today.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing that, just fucking forget about Crackdown. Let it come out when it comes out, because here's the thing I'll say that a lot of people forget. The original Crackdown, that was in a similar situation of development hell for a really fucking long time. Apparently, it was done long before it ever got released. Mm-hmm. And it had also gotten revised 2 or 3 times during development. And the only reason they released it is because they're like, well, we're going to do this Halo thing where we release a demo with it to drive up sales for this game that we pretty much are basically lost faith in.
Right.
That was kind of, and then turned out the game was actually fun.
Yep.
So, do that. Wait until next year, tag on some early player beta for it like you did the first game, and then when it comes out, if it's fun, great. If it's a shit game, well, whatever. At least you didn't waste E3 time on it.
I agree. Anyway, speaking of wasting E3 time, let's move on. Not E3, but pretty close. Destiny 2 announced their new expansion, Destiny 2 Forsaken. They had a 10-minute design doc for this. It's kind of strange, John, because I actually think this kind of looks cool. It's back in the Reef. There's some new stuff. All the classes have some new specials. They're bringing some stuff back. There's basically a prison break, and so you and Cade 6 are Wild Westin your way into this series of interconnected asteroids to get these criminals back. There's bows and arrows now that you can use. I mean, it all looks really cool. The main problem is that it's still Destiny. Destiny has yet to not fuck me. Destiny
and doesn't it cost another $60?
Oh, I don't know.
That's actually, if I remember, and I could be wrong. Please feel free to correct me in the comments or whatever.
Hold on, I have my PlayStation turned on.
That every expansion has cost almost as much as the actual game itself.
Well, usually the season pass will cover it, right? So it's $30.
The first season pass is already over. This is a new season pass,
right? But they did that in the previous one where there was one season pass and there was a second.
But
one.
yeah, apparently everyone that I know is so pissed off about what content came in the last season pass.
Yeah,
and apparently the last season pass was close to $50 to $60.
Interesting. This one's 40 for
that
the second
people
one.
are just like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I've had so many friends on my feed on Facebook.
Yeah.
That are like hardcore Destiny fans. Destiny's not for me. I don't play it. Sorry, but I have another like that were apologists. Were like, no. Destiny 1 got better towards the end.
Right.
Destiny 2 is okay. It's good. Oh, we're totally on board with it. Everything they're doing, it's not great, but it's still a fun game. And I really this came out and their whatever plans for it got announced, and literally every one of them said, "Fuck this game. I'm done. I'm selling my copy of it.
Yeah.
I'm done with this." And guess what? This has also killed my enthusiasm for Anthem.
Yeah,
because people feel like they're being
Anthem.
Yeah, because people feel like they're getting nickel and dimed. Because they're paying almost for an entirely new game just to get.
But what does that have to do with Anthem? It's a different
because
company.
Anthem is going to be the same type of game. Anthem is trying to be Destiny.
Well, sure. But it could be a good version of Destiny. There's nothing wrong with the core concept of Destiny.
Of a game of a service.
It's the execution of it. Yeah, Warframe is a great version of Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, and look, Anthem does not. Anthem's got a lot to prove.
I think it's more just people just upset at the games as service idea,
right?
And just feeling like everything is like that. You know.
Also, my viewpoint on this shit is skewed because like I bought the DLC because it was a humdrum week and I wanted to play through it.
Yeah.
You know, you and I played half it with Matt and half it with you.
Yeah.
But it is kind of interesting. There's also a new multiplayer mode where it's like you're doing PV. It's like 2 teams of 4 doing PVE and collecting like glimmer or something from the kills and then putting them in like a big container.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the container all the way up to the top, then it spawns a boss.
Yeah.
And then like every so often, one person from your team can like jump into the other side of the board to fuck with the other team.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, that sounds kind of cool actually. Yeah. And like I like the bow, and I think Destiny 2 is kind of pretty. I honestly, you know what? If you're one of those people that John is talking about, I totally understand because it really does seem like the base Destiny 2 was garbage, and that they keep trying to sell you the good parts later as DLC.
Yeah.
Just wait. Eventually there'll be a version that's on sale for $40 that has both of the seasons and the base game and everything.
Yeah.
And you can do it all.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that was my only takeaway from all this. Because again, I'm not a Destiny person. I don't even know if I'm interpreting a lot of what they're saying correctly. Right. So again, I could be saying something that's complete hyperbole. I could be repeating something that is not hyperbole, but I'm misunderstanding the context. I don't know.
There's also,
but I just noticed that a lot of the people that were hardcore Destiny apologists on my Facebook are now just like, fuck this game. I'm done.
The other thing is that I don't play Destiny enough. Like it's a lot of times like when people complain about the Dark Souls PvP meta, and I'm just like, I don't play that game that much. Like I want to play the story part. I'm not interested in the raids every week and what it takes to get up to level 465 of blah 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 blah, or getting like that one rocket launcher that everybody likes. I'm just like, I don't know. I played it. I had a certain amount of fun with it, and then I was done, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
And if you want to give me another for $40, you want to give me another 6 to 8 hours worth of single player campaign / I can play it with some of the people from Rage Select / there might be a multiplayer mode that's okay. I'm not totally off board with that.
Yeah.
If you catch me at the right time, right? Like I'm not going to do it in October, but I may do it in February.
Yeah, no, I totally get you.
Anyway, from there we're moving on to the PC, where Valve has done the unthinkably stupid this week. So to catch everybody up, for years Valve has been kind of wrestling with the idea of how do we have a service where people can buy video games without actually having to do any work. How do we keep games at a certain quality level, or keep them from being from ripping off your customers with the least amount of work humanly possible. And just like YouTube and Google and blah, 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 they decided on algorithms and blah, blah, blah. But what they really need is they need a person to look at every game that gets submitted to Steam.
Which I think at the beginning they did have someone, and then they went, well, we don't want to hire a second person because now it's getting too much.
Well, I feel like in the beginning, this was before they did Greenlight. And this Greenlight was where it opened up, where you could get shit on there. And then it's like, oh, well, we took away Greenlight, but you can still just submit your shit. And then last week, we had the story of Active Shooter, the school shooting game that Valve took down because the developer was a troll. We also had the story 2 weeks ago of Valve taking sexually explicit games, mostly visual novels, let's be honest, off of the franchise, which they then backed off of because people
complained.
Well, look, it becomes a thing of like, you got Lady Killer in a Bind, and you got Big Fat Anime Titty Quest, right?
Yeah.
And both of them have nudity and sex in them. One of them is like a kind of like talks about sex and like has some points to say, and the other one's just like wanking material. But how do you write the rules so that the one is allowed and the other one is banned? And the answer is you don't, because once you let them titties on there, like everything's that's what it is. Anyway, that all leads us to this week where Valve, I feel like
said, fuck it.
Yeah, they were just like, they did that thing in Vegas where they put all the cards out, they clapped their hands, and they just walked out of the casino. Apparently, like, they just don't give no fucks anymore. You can put whatever you want to on Steam. And
as long as it's not considered illegal by Valve or considered trolling by Valve, they don't give a shit. Everything is fair game to go on to Steam. Release whatever the fuck you want. Yep. We don't fucking care. However, we feel that if we should, take the manpower that would have been put towards policing that and instead put it towards building the tools to let you decide what you see from our store.
Yeah, the quote is literally this, quote, "With that principle in mind, we've decided that the right approach is to allow everything onto the Steam store except for things that we decide are illegal or straight up trolling. Taking this approach allows us to focus less on trying to police what should be on Steam and more on building those tools to give people control over what kind of content they see," which is the biggest fucking cop-out in the entire goddamn world.
In plainer English than it already is, because that's pretty plain English, is you if you don't like what you see on Steam, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's like, well, we opened the sewage valves all the way open, but we're giving you a lot of tools to be able to get the sewage out of your house, right? To sort through it and find the corn that you're looking for. I'm like, why? Steam has been a fucking wasteland of garbage for years now, and this is only making it more of a garbage wasteland. Don't give me more tools to sort the garbage. Take the garbage off your platform. Go back to the solution. Look, I can already tell you. I can look through Steam and I can tell you what's good and what's not. Like, I can tell you the difference by looking at the screenshots of this is an RPG Maker flip. That's a Unity Store asset flip. This is something that somebody worked on for like a couple of weekends, and it's probably garbage. And the thing is that you can look at these things without knowing. And all the people are just like, blah, 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 blah. When you go to a store, somebody curates what's on the shelves of that store.
Yeah.
The store isn't just everything. When you go to Netflix, there is a curation process of what is on Netflix. Now, there's a lot of shit on Netflix, right? But, people choose what goes into their services that you can give them money for. And the idea of just being like, fuck it, whatever, is that we've had 4 to 5 years worth of that experiment's results. And the results are, it's terrible. And bleh. Anyway, I'm sorry.
But just remember, it's not Valve's fault anymore.
Sure. No,
it's your fault because you're not using the tools that they've provided properly to curate your own viewing of what's on Steam. Because if you had done it properly or actually looked into it and actually set your settings properly, you wouldn't see that stuff you don't want to see.
Hey, you know what? Here's a setting for you, Valve. How about tabs? How about you let me open up games in tabs, and then I can go to the tabs, like instead of having to open them into a separate window? Here's another one. How about you let me customize my homepage so that the first thing I see when I pull it up isn't you trying to sell me a bunch of garbage games that other people are into for some reason. Based on what you've played, we recommend fucking whatever. Like, here's a bunch of curator lists that haven't been updated in years. Don't you want to look at those? I have to scroll past all that to get to new fucking releases, and I've had to do that for roughly 4 years now. Fix your shit, Valve. Fix it.
It's not their fault. It's your fault.
Fix it.
No, there's nothing that needs to be fixed. It's your fault. Clearly, it's your fault because you're not using the tools properly.
I'm using them properly. Anyway, speaking of fix your shit, Anthem put out a trailer for the trailer that's coming at E3. So,
yay!
Is there anybody hyped about? I don't know anybody. Like, even the people that I know that are into Destiny don't seem like they're into Anthem. They're just in like, oh, I can't fucking wait. Like, I feel like
there were some people that were into the idea of Anthem when it was first announced, and they were like, oh shit. But then Mass Effect Andromeda happened, and
Battlefront 2,
and also the stuff with Destiny, and people are like, well
Destiny's Activision, but
I know that. I'm just saying, like, just the idea of games as a service are starting to become not seen as well done. Then also, Activision has had all of it's like the only thing that is not being fucked up at Activision or EA, because this is EA, right?
This is EA.
Yeah. The only thing that's not being fucked up at EA is like their sports games.
I actually hear that the sports games are now a fucking huge mess of microtransactions as well. So,
okay. Well, yeah.
You know what Anthem needs? A story trailer. I need like a really slickly produced story trailer that explains what the fuck and why I should care.
No, it's a game to service. That's all you need to know, and you get a mech, and you can fly around and fight stuff.
That's all right.
You can be Iron Man. It's your ultimate Iron Man power fantasy.
I've got.
That's all the story you need.
I've got Disney Infinity. I can already be Iron Man, motherfucker. I can be like three different Iron Mans.
Not like this, man. Not like this post-apocalyptic world where you fight. It's like Iron Man meets Monster Hunter, but not like that at all.
Cool.
And Titanfall, like it's like Iron Man, Titanfall, and Monster Hunter all rolled up into one, but nothing like those things.
I hope that we get Titanfall 3. I like Titanfall 2. I know some people don't like
Titanfall 3 Battle Royale.
Son of a bitch. Well,
seriously. Every game is getting a Battle Royale mode or a Battle Royale type thing. I'm betting you. That's going to be the hot thing this year.
Well, we already know...
Because everyone wants that Fortnite money.
Yeah, we already know that Call of Duty is doing it. I have a feeling that Battlefield will probably end up doing it. I don't know about Overwatch, though.
No, Overwatch
I'd be interested in playing.
Overwatch is never going to do it.
Even if it was a spin-off from Overwatch that wasn't specific Overwatch characters, that was just like okay, let me put it this way. If Blizzard made a Battle Royale game, I would play it. Because I don't like MMOs, but I kind of like WoW. And I don't like online shooters, but I like Overwatch. And I don't like grindy loot fest, but I'll play me some fucking Diablo. So if they make a Battle Royale game, I don't like MOBAs, but I'll play Heroes of the Storm. So if they make it, I'll play it because I like their style and I dig the way that they put stuff together to make it easy to play.
Yeah.
But speaking of Diablo, the bane of the video game secret keeping existence, job postings. Apparently, there's a job posting for a developer for a new Diablo title at Blizzard. So
with the Battle Royale mode.
There was a Battle Royale mode. Yep.
No,
Diablo Battle Royale.
Diablo Royale.
There you go. I guess it's about time, right? Diablo 3 was 4 years ago?
Yeah,
5 years ago?
I mean...
I think I did Battle Royale. I think I did Diablo when we worked at Spill, or when I worked at Spill. And we haven't had a StarCraft. Wait, did they? They did have some
the third part 3 of the StarCraft 2 trilogy.
And then the spin-off single-player Nova missions.
The Nova missions, but it wasn't actually an actual game, like single by itself game. Like you had to have StarCraft 2.
But it was an expansion. I mean, it was like 6 or 8 missions or something like that, which I like those kind of missions. Anyway, I'm cool with Diablo. Where did Diablo 3 end again? What happened there? Imperial?
I don't remember.
It was War in Heaven. The girl... Deckard Cain's daughter becomes Diablo.
Oh, I don't remember.
In Heaven, because the last level is Heaven, and then Act 5 was like another one of the primevals that you had to fight down on Earth. And the Crusader was there. Anyway, I enjoyed all. I got my money's worth out of Diablo 3. I played it 4 or 5 times, and I've really enjoyed it. So bring it on, Blizzard. You bring it on, I'll play it. Apparently, I'm just bending over for Blizzard. All right, let's jump into some trailers because I'm sure that we're probably getting pretty close to our time.
Oh, fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Stormland, a new VR game from Insomniac Games, the makers of Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive. Looks like a pretty cool little mech adventure. VR game. Unfortunately, it is, as most of the rest of their games, an Oculus exclusive.
Yes.
So, son of a bitch, because this looks like a really fun game.
We'll never get to play it.
And I am not going to buy... I wanted to play their Cthulhu game that came out. That looked like a really cool game as well. And then that like wizard fight game. Like I really wish that they would...
And Brushwood has a Vive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't like go over to his house and punch him in the face and play it.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Also, Brian Brushwood plays his Vive with his glasses on, and the cups are scratched. The lenses have scratches on them. So it's always like looking through dirty glasses when you're playing it. It drives me fucking nuts. Anyway, I don't know. This game looks really cool.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. You play as a robot guy.
It looks a lot like Bastion from that one Overwatch short. And it's like you're walking around and there's some combat elements.
You can like swap parts, like you find like upgrade parts.
Yeah. There's some exploration. It looks like
you can revive friends.
It looks like there's a lot of like there's a jumping mechanic, or there's kind of a flinging. It looks like a lot of the motion is tied to your arms.
Yeah.
Like you kind of swing your arms do-si-do to walk forward or
fly Superman style.
Yeah. Which is cool. I'm really into that. Oh shit. What if that new Rocksteady Superman game is an Xbox One exclusive? That's what they need. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, again, this looks super fucking cool, but I'm not buying a computer and a Rift to play it. So, sorry, Insomniac.
Sucks, but, looks good.
Yeah.
And good thing for the people who do have an Oculus.
Yep. Star Trek Online is a game that I don't know anybody who plays, but I don't know if y'all know this about Jeff, but Jeff is a big fan of Deep Space Nine. It's my favorite of the Star Treks. I love all the people. I love even the Ferengis. And this is like some kind of parallel universe thing where Rene Auberjonois Odo it seems like he's like a founder. And then there's like an evil... Like everybody in this, I recognize a bunch of people in this trailer. There's like Kira and Gul Dukat and Martok, and they're all like... I feel like they're like mirror universe versions. Oh, wait, is this literally the mirror universe?
It might be.
Is this literally the mirror universe? Because that looked like mirror universe Worf. I think it is the mirror universe. But wait, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I don't know. All I know is that it's cool. Also, I bet that's...
Yep, that's mirror universe.
Curzon Dax over there. Oh, yeah, because they've got the black uniforms.
Yeah, also the logo on his uniform.
There you go. So that's cool. I'll never play it.
Yeah, no, never played either.
It looks cool, but yeah, I would never play it. Anyway, go watch Deep Space Nine. It's great. I'll tell you why it's great. It's great because it's the only Star Trek series that isn't all focused on the Federation. So you finally get to see how other people in the universe live that are not just a bunch of Federation drones. That's why it's great. Generation Zero... It kind of has taken me off guard a little bit. This is an Avalanche Studios game. The folks that are making the new Rage 2, they made Mad Max, they made Just Cause, and this is a Swedish robot apocalypse in the 80s, and a group of kids that have to work together to try to fend off these robots that are coming to kill everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of like a co-op game, if I remember correctly. Or
looks like it.
Like 4-person co-op.
Yeah, I like it. It kind of seems like a cheesy 80s horror movie meets Red Dawn meets Terminator.
Yeah.
So I dig it. I like what I'm seeing. I think I'd like to see more. I'm really kind of curious because I didn't really care much for Mad Max.
Oh, see, I love Mad Max.
I didn't really care much for Just Cause 3, but like Rage 2 and Generation Zero both look pretty good, so I don't know. And last but not least on the trailer front, Fear the Wolves. So before, if you're looking for a game that is Stalker, kind of, basically, Focus Interactive has you covered. John, you said this was a Kickstarted game?
I think it was not
Indiegogo or something?
Yeah, it's some type of crowdfunded game. I think they came out before the new Stalker game was actually announced.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we're going to do this. We wanted to make a Stalker-like game.
Oh, this is a Battle Royale game.
Oh, okay.
Drop into the zone and fear the wolves. E3 trailer, the Stalker-inspired Battle Royale FPS. So it's coming this summer. Early access starts this summer on Steam. So it's Stalker meets Battle Royale, which, hey, that's cool. I can see that being a cool thing. It does explain why the character in this trailer is so
running away from everything and also running to kill everything.
Well, so kind of tentatively sneaking up on this other player as opposed to just like you would on an AI.
Yeah.
It looks good though. I think that it does look like Stalker quite a bit, and that's a pretty good universe for a battle royale game. So we'll see. Has there been an FPS battle royale yet? I mean, I'm assuming that Black Ops will be, or that Black Ops 4 will be, but Sunset Overdrive, Fortnite, PUBG, those are all third person.
Sunset Overdrive wasn't a Fortnite?
No, the Boss Key one that got shut down.
Something Hills or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. That could be cool. It does seem to be interesting that the battle royale has generally tended to use the third person to keep your like situational awareness way higher. So going from like a claustrophobic first person perspective seems like it could be a much different game because you can't can't turn the camera to look behind you, right? You turn around. So, all right, we got some announcements, and then we're getting ready to we're going to take a break. So, Rockstar announced the pre-order editions and collector's editions of Red Dead 2.
Yeah, there's the highest expensive edition that doesn't even come with the game.
Oh, does it not?
No, the collector's box does not come with the game.
Yeah, somebody explained why that was on a podcast, or it might have been like Jim Sterling, where it's like the idea that you can buy this, that it's separate from buying the game for a reason. But what I'm a little concerned about, though, is the fact that what's included in this box sucks. Like it's a treasure map, a pin set, Wheeler, Rawson and Company catalog, playing cards, challenge coin, bandana, a metal box with a key, cards, and a double-sided puzzle. And I'm like, ugh. It just sounds like a bunch of trash that you put into a metal box. Yeah. So thank you for the metal box of trash, Rockstar.
Though, if it's anything like the Grand Theft Auto 4 Collector's Edition box, I'm actually, the box is going to be of good quality.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can check that out.
But yeah, the collector, the deluxe, the special edition, and the deluxe edition of Red Dead 2 that does come with the game looks cool.
Yeah.
I think it also infers some things that people are having theories about what's gonna be in the game. Like there might be some type of RPG mechanics.
Yeah. Well, the special edition here in this listing says it includes an exclusive bank robbery mission, new horse outfits and items that give gameplay bonuses, as well as 3 free weapons. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Lords of the Fallen 2 has a new developer. Lords of the Fallen, the franchise was kind of looking for a sequel, but didn't have anybody to actually develop it since Deck 13, as near as I could tell, did The Surge instead. Yeah. They now have a new studio that is called Defiant Studios, and this is their first game that they've ever done. Okay. So Lords of the Fallen was a weird one, and that was interesting, but not super great. Ward's Dark Souls inspirations on his shoulder.
Called Defiant Games.
I don't know.
That's weird.
There's a ship called the Defiant on Deep Space Nine.
No, I know that.
Are you talking about Deep Space Nine, John?
No, I mean,
let's see. Defiant Games, Defiant Development.
Yeah, that's the company that makes fucking Hand of Fate.
Hand of Fate.
So some other company's using a very similar name. What the fuck?
Well, come on. Traveler's Tales and Telltale and
it's Defiant Games and Defiant Studios.
Hey, one of them makes one of them's a studio, one of them's a game developer. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Let's see. Devil May Cry 5 may have been leaked with a domain name registration.
Oh, shit!
Yep. Actually, Hideaki Itsuno's been teasing this for a while now.
Yeah, he has. It's been teased for a while.
I'm hoping that we see it at E3.
Yeah.
I hope that maybe that's a Microsoft system exclusive.
I don't think it'll be a system exclusive because Capcom, or if it is, it'll be a limited time exclusive like Dead Rising 4.
Yeah. They got a relationship with the whole Dead Rising thing. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, rest your weary head. You're getting a new Devil May Cry. It's
that
Devil May Cry 5.
Nothing to do with DMC, Devil May Cry.
It literally ignores the fact that DMC exists by going from the one before.
So that'll make some people happy, I'm sure.
Let's see. Some Switch news, John?
Yeah, I'm all down for Switch news.
Okay. Data mining the Switch's store. People pretty sure that Fortnite's going to end up on the Switch.
Yeah, that's one of the things that got... There's another one that's rumored. In addition to that, unless you've got that news item, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
You mean Paladins?
Yes, that one.
Yep. So Paladins and Fortnite are probably both coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
That's fine. Those are both games that have a real specific art style and are able to be played, they don't need super big hardware.
Maybe Paladins will come out with a Battle Royale mode.
Oh, yeah.
Then you'll get your Overwatch Battle Royale fix.
Does anybody play Paladins anymore? Because they did that thing where they put in microtransactions at like the worst possible time. Like a loot box unlocks right when everybody was just like super anti-loot box.
Yeah.
So, and now for some release dates. Last week or the week before there was a story that soon we would know what the release date for Kingdom Hearts was. Well, that day came and they said the fourth quarter of this year at some point, somewhere between October and December, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be coming out, and they're going to announce the exact release date at E3 2018. Like, why did you even do this? Don't be coy. Just tell us when the game's coming out.
No.
It's coming out later this year.
No.
It's a fucking Kingdom Hearts game.
No.
Yeesh.
What if that's Xbox exclusive?
People would burn down the world. Kingdom Hearts fans would go psychotically crazy and destroy everything.
Yeah. I just think it's hilarious if every game was announced as Xbox exclusive.
Sure, yeah. It would be weird considering all of the Kingdom Hearts remake releases have been PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying. I think it'd be funny.
Yeah. Red Faction Guerrilla. Has a July release
the
date.
remaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. July 3rd, coming out PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And in September, Code Vein, the vampire Souls-ish Bandai Namco game that we've been hearing about for a while, has a release date as well. It also had a nice little story trailer that was like 4 minutes long, and there's a lot of talking. People are just like, wow, I'll never see you, you blah, blah, blah. Very anime bullshit, but I'll play it.
So just to kind of go back a second,
sure,
to the Red Faction Guerrilla thing.
Yes.
Why is that game loved as much as it is?
I don't know. I played it like for a second.
I thought it was boring. Like I thought the destructionality of everything, you could destroy everything. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but.
Well, since the original Red Faction, when they've been like, you can destroy anything, and I'm like, okay, and you do that for a little while, and then it's like, this is boring, because I thought it was really the one that was before Guerrilla that was the one that everybody liked. Was it Red Faction 2?
I thought Guerrilla was the one everyone liked, because I thought that was the first one that. Okay, I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I don't follow the Red Faction games.
You know what? So. I got an internet.
But it just seems weird to me that one's getting a remaster. And like, I know, wasn't there a Red Faction game after that one? That apparently was god awful garbage.
Let's see. Red Faction Armageddon. That might be the one that I was thinking of. Yeah, okay. I think Guerrilla was yeah, okay. I know why people liked Guerrilla. I liked Guerrilla.
Okay.
Because it was like, it was kind of just, you'd never seen a level of destruction and stuff like that before.
Yeah. I just remember not really caring about the story for it when I played it.
Yeah.
Like just it being kind of bland.
I think I played the demo 4 times. I don't think I actually ever played the actual full release. So I don't know. We'll see on July 3rd when it comes out. We can fucking go buy it and play it on the dojo.
All right.
Okay, last but not least, since John already spiked my other story about Dark Souls.
We didn't talk about it, though.
I got a Metal Gear story. Nah, it's all right. So somewhere on the internet, or somebody sent this to me on Facebook. It's this guy. Have you seen this, John? It's just says it's called Just Another Day in a War Without End, Outer Heaven, and it's some guy that built this place, and it says Outer Heaven on the outside, and on the inside it is like everything like Hideo Kojima and Metal Gear. It's like every game, every collectible, every piece of art. Like there's the full life-size Luden's exo suit. Like it's basically this person is a level of Hideo Kojima fandom that I am not.
Yeah.
And this video goes on for 14 minutes as this person walks around this room with their camera and details every single shelf that has the collector's edition, every console collector's edition that came with a Metal Gear or Hideo Kojima game, everything. And somebody posted this to me on Facebook. They were just like, how would you like this place, Jeff? And I was like, I would want to go in there. I want to hang out amongst all this stuff. It'd be like a museum. I'd charge entry to go in and see the stuff. But it's pretty wild when you consider the amount of fandom applied to, just this one thing. I don't know. Maybe this guy is like an employee or something, but all I know is that it says, I don't know. It just looks like somebody's collection that's gone kind of off the rails. I don't know. There's like a bed with a bunch of Kojima production stuff on it. This person has to be like connected to Kojima production. So
I would assume maybe it's Kojima's actual house. It's his summer house.
Maybe so.
It's a summer cottage. He goes there in the summer, and just surrounds himself with everything.
There's like a lot of signed pictures of him in here, so I feel like that would be a little weird if you were just like, this room is missing a signed picture of me, motherfucker.
Well, he decided that he would turn it into this, and then he's going to put it up on Airbnb, and then people can visit and pay him money to stay there.
But it's pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive collection of pretty
stuff.
Much every single thing related to Metal Gear and
related to Kojima.
Yeah. He's got like Boktai and Snatcher and Police Knots and things like that. But yeah, so it's pretty impressive. I mean, like, if you're a fan of Metal Gear and you've got 14 minutes to spare, I recommend going to go watch it. It's called Just Another Day in a War Without End, Outer Heaven, and it's on a channel called Bayou Arafat. BAYUARAFAT.
Hey, I know it's one of those dolls. You have that doll because I gave it to you.
Yes, indeed.
So, solid snake.
Yep. Anyway, that's where we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to read some emails, so stick around, and we'll see you in just a second. And we're back.
Yo.
John, we are back.
Yeah.
It is time for questions.
I happen to like questions.
Mail at rageselect.com. That's the email address. And we've got good ones this week. Our first one comes in from Brandon. No, wait. I'm sorry. I had these out. Brandon, we're going to get to your question before we're done here. You know what? I got to put Brandon's first because I started it that way.
You did?
Yeah. I had them lined up in a different order. It's fine. Brandon says, hello, Jeff and John. Brandon here trying to be a super famous rock star by asking a question. This one's more for me, so that was why I had it further down the list.
That's fine.
Jeff, I know you basically got rid of your social media, but I have to know. It sounds dumb, but without it, I have no idea what to do while on the toilet or while on lunch at work. How do you stay off it and keep up to date with everything? I'm personally tired of all the negative shit I'm seeing that just puts me in a bummer mood. Sorry for the dumb question, but I've been battling around deleting Facebook for a while now. Your loyal patron, Brendan.
I can actually answer this.
Well, there you go. Lay it on, John.
Like games, like iPhone games.
Yeah.
Like, you will not believe how many iPhone games I play, or like phone games,
sure,
like little mobile games.
I mean, I would.
I play while on the shitter.
Yeah.
Like that's or like at work.
Yeah.
I don't like. It's funny because I actually like am all in social media. Like I'm all up in them guts of social media. So, but like when I'm on the crapper, I don't look at Facebook. I don't like looking at Facebook when I'm on the crapper. My crapper time is my peaceful time. I do two things.
Uh-huh.
I play games on my tablet, or I watch, I play games on my tablet, or I read comics on my tablet.
Okay.
Like I have a subscription to Comixology Unlimited, and I download like a shit ton of stuff through that, and just I'll read that while I'm on the crapper.
Okay.
I go to lunch. I don't look at Facebook. I don't look at Twitter. I watch shit, like I watch videos or I play games. I just, while I eat my lunch, I'll typically watch like something on Verve or something on Netflix or whatever that's in my hour-long lunch at work or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's kind of my answer, Brandon. I have one special silver bullet that I feel like is my thing. So, when you guys and gals write in and ask about books, and I'm always like, oh, yeah, I read like this book, this book, and this book, this book. That's what I do instead of social media, is on the front page of my phone where I used to have the Facebook app, I have the Kindle app. And I open the Kindle app and I just read a chapter of a book or a few paragraphs or whatever, because you can just read it and you close it, you can open it back up and keep reading. And most books are long enough that if you're going to the bathroom, whatnot. I used to eat and read more, but I don't like to eat and read all that much. So usually when I'm eating, I'll watch a YouTube video, because YouTube videos are like usually 15 to 25 minutes. As far as keeping up with current events, I watch the Philip DeFranco show, which I find is a pretty good, at least like overview of kind of bigger stuff.
Yeah, Amanda watches that as well, so I'm familiar with Philip DeFranco.
Yeah. Also for current events news, podcasts work really well. I like the Vox shows, the Ezra Klein show and the Weeds and Worldly, 538. Obviously I'm a big old fucking liberal, right? But I also listen to a show called The Editors, which is the National Review podcast, which is a conservative podcast.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty okay. I mean, I disagree with them on a lot of things, but they're pretty civil about the way that they talk. But in all honesty, Brandon, as far as current events go, I wouldn't worry that much about it. I mean, like, the thing is that if there's a big current event, you're probably going to hear about it. Well, also, I have a pretty meticulously curated Twitter feed. And Twitter, I feel like, is a good way to look at social media without, like, I try to keep my Twitter feed trimmed, right, to only a few people that I really want to follow. Brian Brushwood, right? He will follow back anybody that follows him. Like, a lot of people will do that.
Funny thing is, he followed me before I ever followed him.
Yep.
And I was like, weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why he's following me. There's no reason, like, even with the association with Rage Select, no reason for him to ever follow me. Just followed me one day. I'm like, all right, I know who he is. What's funny is I knew who he is for a long time, but
Yeah. So, but I don't do that. Like, I follow like 30 people, like, total. And so, because Twitter doesn't show you like friends of friends posts, it's like if you follow the right people and you just make sure that, like, anybody who's very promiscuous about retweeting crazy, like I'm about, I mean, okay, listen, I love the guy. I'm about this close to muting or unfollowing Grant on Twitter, just because Grant reposts a lot of stuff that I'm just not super interested in. But like, I keep my Twitter feed really lean, but then when something happens, everybody that I know, or at least 3 people that I know, will make some comment about it, and then it's like, I need to go see what this is. Then I can just go look up what is that news.
But yeah, YouTube's also a good one on that one. So
YouTube and Kindle. Definitely the Kindle app, though. Like, read you some books, man. Yeah, there's a lot of books out there.
And if novels ain't your thing and comics are, Comixology. Get Comixology Unlimited. It's $5.99 a month, and you get like fucking shit ton of comics.
Get you one of them big phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, I can tell you that leaving Facebook it wasn't the cure to everything, but I do find myself less dissatisfied because without the reflex to check Facebook, every so often I will go and just peruse Facebook, but it's no longer like, you get into the habit where, like, when you sit down and you unlock your phone and you don't have anything to do and you're like, Facebook, right? Let's see what's on Facebook. And I don't have the desire to do that anymore. Oh, also Imager. Imager is a great social media thing that I feel like Yes, there are current events and weirdness on there, but there's also a lot of fucking like cat pictures and like gifs of cool stuff and memes. And I'm like, hey, that's cool. It's like memes without 4chan and pictures without Facebook. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Next up, let's see. Open Bayou says, yo, Jeff and John. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's E3. New games, release dates, and updates. Oh, my. But the one part of E3 that always bums me out is the PC Gaming Showcase. It's too long. It was 2 hours last year. The bigger titles shown at the PC Gamer Showcase have already been shown, and newer games look dull or boring. My question that I propose is, how would you fix the PC Gaming Showcase? And yes, removing it is an option. But before you consider removing the PC Gamer Showcase as an option, here's how I would fix it. I would team up with Kickstarter and have a showcase of indie developers that have just launched their Kickstarter games or are nearing the end of their campaign and are at risk of not having their projects completely funded. I think it's a great way of actually showing how the game plays, even if it's only one level of the game versus a rendered video. And you could two ways of getting their projects funded, either by having a bunch of indie devs do showcases and hope they get funded, or 10 indie devs in a live voting, and whoever has the most votes gets their project 100% funded. You can also have live streaming software, show off new versions of their software, have OBS show what they're working on, get other programs as well, like vMix and Wirecast, get Mixer or Facebook Gaming to show off that they're better than YouTube or Twitch. That's my 2 cents. It's from Open Bayou in New Orleans, Louisiana. How would you fix the PC Gamer Show?
I don't think it can be fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know, because it's just like
John's giving me a look. I'm just trying to figure out how to describe the look to the audience. I'm just like,
I don't.
You know that
I have never liked any of the PC Gaming Showcase things that they've done for E3.
It's kind of like that Jackie Chan meme look where he's got the hands over his head. What?
Yeah. Now, the thing is, I don't think it should be done away with.
Yeah.
Like, I would not do away with it, but I don't know how to fix it.
So, okay, let's take a sec here. As near as I can tell, to me at least, the PC Gaming Showcase has 2 pretty titanic problems. 3 pretty titanic problems. There's more, but the 3 that are major, right? One is that PC is not one company. Like, Microsoft runs the Microsoft conference and Ubisoft runs the Ubisoft conference. PC is like AMD or PC Gamer Magazine, or like there's no brand. PC is not a brand. It's a platform. It's like if there was a TV conference, right? It would it would be weird, because you get a better show when you have a company that can make a stylistic choice about their branding. Yeah. And that's problem number 2, is that it doesn't have a cohesive style to it. It feels very hodgepodgey, especially, they didn't do it so much last year, but that first year where it was like talk show format, right?
That's the set has been talk show format every year.
Yeah. Well, I feel like last year it wasn't as much. Like, I don't think, did they have the desk and the couch last year?
Did.
Okay. And like, yeah,
but it was, the problem was the previous years years that they had done it, the guy was trying to be a talk show host, and trying to make jokes and things like that, and it was very just like, shut the fuck up and move on.
He's very Aisha Tyler.
Whereas the last year, it was less of it. Like, it was very much like someone said, don't make jokes. Right. You're not doing an opening monologue. You're here to introduce stuff. And so and then he seemed like he kind of calmed down and went, all right, tell me about your game. Oh, and then if like someone said something and he thought of something funny, maybe he'd say it, maybe he wouldn't.
Right.
If someone else, the guest, said something funny, he'd joke with them a little bit more organic in that regards. But it wasn't as obnoxious as it was the previous year.
And the third problem that I feel like they have is that the PC gaming conference seems very insecure. Like, they're always just like, and that's why we're PC gamers, the hardest core gamers. We got liquid fueled, liquid cooled. Our graphics are all 4K. Look at all this shit we got. It's better than you console plebeians. And it's just like, console plebeians don't give a fuck, right? Console plebeians are off enjoying their consoles. They don't care about your disdain, PC gamers. Your hate does not affect them. Like, no Xbox person is just like, oh man, I wish I could be playing on the PC, but I only had enough money to buy an Xbox One. I'm really ashamed about it. I hope none of my friends find out that all I have is an Xbox One. Like, fuck off. Like, nobody thinks like that. So there's this weird bravado for a console war. It's almost like the console wars are between Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft, and all the while the PC is just like, that's right, don't come over here, don't ask for none, you won't get none, and everybody's just like, we don't fucking care about you, PC. Steam just announced they're going to put all the garbage in the world on your platform, and you're just like, but you can mod Skyrim to make it look really, really, really good in 4K, and it's like,
well, actually, can't you do mods on Xbox One now on Skyrim?
You can do mods, but yeah, you can't mod it like that. You can't do like a texture overhaul pack, but even a lot of those texture overhaul packs, the game won't work after that. You can take pictures of it, you can take video of it, but you can't like play the game. Anyway, I think that what they need is they need a curator. They need somebody to curate the PC show. And if I were them, I would look for a company that doesn't have a conference but is big. So like
Warner Brothers, or not saying Warner Brothers specifically, but I'm saying like that, or Activision, or
somebody that has a stake, somebody that has a foot in the PC gaming realm. Yes, exactly. Or like not CD Projekt Red. I actually had one that I was just thinking, but like, I don't know, like Viacom maybe, or like, I just had one in mind and then it just slipped out of my head. Somebody that does PC games, somebody that releases their things on the PC, and somebody that doesn't have their own conference. At first I was thinking like Square, but Square isn't a very good.
Yeah, no.
They've got too many console
they also
ties.
do have their own conference every now and then. I think they have one this year.
Yeah. And it would be nice if you had somebody. This is a weird offshoot, but if you had somebody like Rockstar that had who's 2K Games, right?
Yeah,
they don't have their own show, and they've got the money and the chutzpah to be like, we're going to put on a show, and then we're going to court developers to come show their games off like in 4K at 60 frames per second, like running. Like, we want to show you a stage show of a game that you might have seen before, but we want to show you something different about this game, and we want to show it to you running in a way that looks just like jaw drop on the floor great. And then hopefully that would eliminate the need for them to have that dumb ad in the middle where the person walks out with like an AMD video card.
Well, that's because AMD is the reason is funding the whole thing.
Exactly.
AMD or Intel or what the fuck is it? ATI or whatever the fuck companies they are.
Yeah.
Radeon.
It's AMD.
Yeah. Well, it's like AMD and Intel or whatever. Like the companies are like whatever. They fund, because I think it changed one year from AMD, and then the previous year it was the other one. And I always forget which, because I've been so out of the PC game for so long, I forget what the other company is because they've all merged into different companies.
Yeah. But I think that's your major problem, is that's the reason that it sucks, is because, like, you think about how on a Microsoft or a Sony or even Nintendo, like the people that come out on stage to announce things, only Ubisoft is the only other conference where it's like an entertainer does that shit. Most of the time it's like the CEO of the company comes out to say like, hey everybody, here are the games, and they're not joking around. I mean, fuck, like how many of the jokey jokester hosts have lasted over the years? Hell, they didn't even have, did they have Aisha Tyler last year?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Then she brought out Yves, and then he brought out Miyamoto for Rabbids, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, Miyamoto and Reggie aren't like they have a certain level of personality, but they're not like entertainers, right? Whereas that guy that's on the PC conference, I'm just like, who are you? It's kind of like whenever
and I think he's like an editor at PC Gamer, the magazine.
Yeah, I would get somebody who was big in there. I'd probably get a marketing firm, and I would try to get some company, not a game company, not a hardware company, to come in and I tell you what, you know what would really be the thing is Steam. If Valve put on the PC gaming show, because Valve does kind of have a little bit of that PC gamer, big balls, type of thing. And then you really have to court every PC exclusive, every single game that's a PC exclusive. The problem is that a lot of times the PC exclusives, they just like, you bring in Star Citizen, and it's like, okay, there's one, I guess, and they're like, here's Dawn of War 3. And
well, it's like the other problem is that I also feel like the reason we get such a kind of a crapshoot of what games are even shown at the PC gaming conference is because 9 times out of 10, because AMD is such a hardcore investor and it's supposed to be an advertisement, they want games that are specifically designed to work with their hardware architecture.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, you need Killing Floor because Killing Floor totally is on board with us, and you need this game because it's that group is make games specifically for our graphics card, and you need this, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I think that's the main reason. Also, that a lot of times the PC exclusives they don't. The Total War franchise does not tend to generate really eye-catching trailers like, say, God of War or Halo, right? XCOM 2 War of the Chosen trailer was good. It won no Red Dead 2.
So here's kind of my problem with the PC showcase games.
Okay.
And you kind of just hit on it. One, the exclusives are, like you said, Total War or whatever, games that don't really... they probably do really well on PC, and they, there's a lot of people who play them, but they don't really. You don't hear people talking about like, oh man, did you see that new trailer for Total War? Oh my god, did you see that new trailer for that new, Warhammer game or whatever? You don't see. Yes, there are people who do talk about it, but you don't see people talk about it in the way they talk about God of War or Halo or whatever console game that's coming out this week. You don't hear about it that much.
Yeah.
In that same light. So you have these games that when they show them, they don't spark that, oh man, I gotta have this.
Yeah.
But then there's another type of game that is exclusive that comes out, and then it ends up coming out on the console in like a year or two after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, we'll get that in a year or two. And sure enough, we get it in a year or two on console. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well...
The PC games a lot of times I feel like go to the console and not the other way around. Is that like Bloodborne has not eventually made its way onto the PC?
Yeah.
It took Bayonetta how many years to get like a good PC release?
And half the time when they go to PC, it ain't for the better.
Right. And then I was thinking about this a lot with Dark Souls Remastered, where the PC crowd had already modded Prepare to Die edition, which had been cheap for a long time, to be 60 frames per second and to look better than the initial release. They bumped up the frame rate and they bumped up the graphical fidelity, right? Because it was capped at 720 and they put it up to 1080 native. And so the other side of this comes in the fact that not only do it's weird because I feel like PC gaming is such a difficult thing. Right? Yeah. If you're not making a game that caters to a wide swath of PC gaming, you might as well put it out everywhere. So if it's not a PC exclusive, why bother?
Yeah.
And a lot of times games that start on the console and then go to the PC aren't ported very well, and then the PC audience is just like, fuck you! They'll bomb a Steam rating day one.
Or it is ported well, but it's locked at 30 frames per second because that's where the console version was.
Fuck you! Yeah,
but outside of that one little fact, everything about the game is perfect.
Right.
And it even still looks better on the PC than it did on the console.
Yep.
It's just locked at 30 frames per second, so fuck you.
Yeah. So the PC audience is also very, having Steam, having the ability to just write a fucking thumbs down vote. And because Steam is such a garbage fire, that being the only way for people to find stuff, I feel like it's a ruthless crucible full of meaner people on the PC than it is on the consoles. And that, I don't know. That's just what it is. I also don't really know, listen, if you're a PC Master Race person and you are also, I don't like that term. I like the fact that that's become a thing that they call it a PC Master Race. It's like, that's gross. I don't like that. But I tell you what, the other problem is that Steam doesn't release sales data. I'm not convinced that when you have a big game, when Battlefield 5 comes out, that like the PS4 and the Xbox One sales won't dwarf the PC sales because it's so much easier just to have a little black box under your TV than it is to keep up with the liquid cooled rat race down there. So.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to our next question, little behind the scenes here. We did take a brief impromptu break. While that happened, John, E3 leak. Steam put up a pop-up for Just Cause 4 pre-orders.
Oh, shit.
So...
Well, that was one of the Walmart leaks, if I remember correctly, as well.
Oh, yeah, maybe. It's been a leak-a-palooza recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, Far Cry 4. Michael...
Which will probably be more... By the time people hear this, it'll probably be like, oh, yeah, no, of course. It was announced during the Microsoft conference or during,
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to try streaming. I don't know. See, okay, listen. We'll just break off briefly here, John. This year, I think I want to try to compress our podcasts about E3. I think I would still like to record them, but I don't want to go over every data point.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think I just like to if one of us has an interest in a thing that was said, great. But if it's just blah 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 blah, nah. Because there's too many. I feel like there's too many things during E3 where I'm just and then they announced blah. I don't care. Next thing. Then they said blah 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 blah. None of that matters. Then there were 5 games in a row that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, we can talk about it in off air on how to handle the podcast stuff after that. But yeah, we're still gonna do the thing where we put the Twitch stream on the website.
I have to figure out. I have to figure out how to do it every year, but I'm gonna go figure out how to do it.
Yeah, because I enjoy doing that because I have Sunday off, I have Monday off, so I can do most of the press conferences. Obviously, I won't be able to do the Saturday thing, which I think is EA.
Is it EA and Bethesda?
No, Bethesda's on Sunday.
Okay.
Is
it EA and Microsoft on Saturday?
No. There's only one company doing it on Saturday.
Okay, good.
Saturday is just EA, which I'll be at work, unfortunately, for because it's in the middle of the day. And then Sunday is 4 different things.
Good God.
It's I think it's crazy, but yeah, I enjoy being in the chat, watching these live streams with the Rage Selectors. I enjoy doing that and BSing with them, and I have Sunday and Monday off, and I had no plans for this week, so I'm totally on board for getting in there and chatting it up with some of the Rage Selectors. Which, by the time they're listening to this, it will either have happened or didn't.
Or happening.
Yeah.
Michael writes in and says, "Hello, Jeff and John. My question is regarding any games that you played that could be seen as so bad it's good. For instance, David Cage games fall into this category for me. And despite how cringy they are, it's still a joy to play. Follow-up is games that everyone likes but you dislike. For me, that'd be the Animal Crossing games. It takes the idea of economics and community management to its severe degree, and I just got bored playing them. Your fan since Spill." And that's from Michael.
Okay, so what were the 2 questions?
Games that are so bad they're good. Let's go with so bad they're good games.
Deadly Premonition.
Lots of the games that Suda51 puts out.
I love all of them.
Yes. Let's see.
There was a game
Surgeon
that I
Simulator?
admit. Well, yeah, that one's purposefully bad though. There was one game that I liked, but I recognize it was a terrible fucking game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was so terrible it's good. I think it was so terrible it was just terrible.
Yeah.
Which is game Never Dead. Which the problem with that game is that your character couldn't die.
The one where your head and arms and stuff come off.
Yeah.
I played that game all the way to the end.
Yeah.
It was not as bad as people made it out to be.
Yeah, no, I actually really liked that game, mostly for the soundtrack because it was all Megadeth. But yeah, I didn't hate it as much as a lot of other people. I recognize it's a fucking terrible game.
Yeah.
It was frustrating because of the fact that your character can never die, but there are certain enemy types that when they attack you, if you're just the head, it's automatic game over because essentially it's that you as a head are stuck inside of their bellies forever or all of eternity.
Right.
So the game just ends.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating. But yeah.
I have 2 games actually from the same company. Well, sort of. I personally, this is not a well shared conclusion. Personally, I think that Alien Colonial Marines is so bad that it's good because I played that game co-op all the way through with my friend, and it was hilarious. I spent half the game with a face hugger glued to my character's face because it was on there in multiplayer, but the game on my side didn't know that it was there. So it's just my buddy would look over to see me, and I'm just with the face hugger on my face. Yeah, me and my friend played all the way through that game and made fun of it the entire fucking time, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
The same, I think, is very much true of Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
Like, if you played Duke Nukem Forever as a so bad that it's kind of amazing how bad this game is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that it kind of works. Less so. I mean, at least it's dumb and offensive enough that you can look at it and make fun of it, as opposed to just like a bad game or something like, say, like State of Decay 2, where it's not just out and out bad, but there's a lot of like what kind of design decisions going on in it.
Yeah.
So, and then the second one would be games that everyone likes and you don't like. I feel like we answer that question every single week, John.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we answer it every week, but we have answered it a couple times, and I think I have answers, but obviously there's the big one, Grand Theft Auto 5, but that's not because of the game. It's because of the characters.
Yeah. Mine is Ocarina of Time because I don't have any nostalgia for it, so it just comes off as clunky and boring.
Yeah.
Because characters are like, go to the east at midnight and you will find a solution.
I could make a comment that'll make Jeff kick me out of his house, which is say Dark Souls, but I actually don't hate Dark Souls. I just don't like playing them.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Like, I actually, like, it's weird. Like, I have a weird thing where, like, certain games I can totally see as being good and I can play them, but I hate certain aspects of, which I think that's where GTA 5 stands. Is
right.
Like, I like the game, I just don't like the story that's being told. But, then there's some games that I don't like playing, but I like watching people play, or I enjoy, watching someone who's skilled at playing it play it, kind of
Fortnite?
thing.
I don't really like Fortnite.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I don't think that the building aspect does a lot for me. That's kind of why I want to find a good one. Is like Rust is too severe. Fortnite, I feel like would be okay for me, except for the building part. Have you ever actually played Fortnite?
No.
Because I feel like every time that you get into a gunfight with somebody, it's like you see somebody, you start shooting at them. The first thing they do is just wildly quickly, they'll just like build a whole house around themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, that's dumb. And I don't have like the muscle memory that when I'm getting shot at, the first thing I should do is fucking build a house out of Legos. Like, this is not a thing that occurs to me when I'm in a firefight. And at the end of the game, you'll get these giant tower structures of people building, like, because they're building them way up into the sky so they can see all around them.
Well, not just that, but they're also building them inward as well. So you're building a stairway up to the top, the highest point you can build, and then you're building it towards the center of the map so that when it starts closing in, the circle starts closing in, that you're still within it. Yeah, and that allows you to stay alive longer because then other people don't attack you or don't kill you or whatever because you're so high up and they're not looking for you and stuff like that.
It's mostly just that
I get the idea behind it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Me too. And I actually think it's pretty cool. It's just, as I said, my reflexes aren't there. Combat's combat to me, and there's never been a game I feel like where the first thing that I wanted to do when combat started was start building a thing, right? To build my way out of combat,
build
a wall
cover to block the bullets,
right? Like it's return fire is my general solution to getting attacked. So anyway, thanks for your questions, Michael. Let's see. RJ writes in and says, "Hey, wonderful Jeff and rageful John. I don't have a big question, but I was wondering if you ever considered continuing on doing a tutorial for OG Dark Souls. I know. You probably feel like this the last thing the channel needs is more Dark Souls videos, but I'm finally diving into Dark Souls and I love it, and I honestly feel like you're the most qualified person on YouTube to make a Dark Souls walkthrough video, Jeff. Oh, how strange that I read this one question. It talks about how good I am at Dark Souls.
If you're a patron, we did an entire playthrough of it.
I know it was forever ago, but the quality of your Super Awesome Video Game Show tutorial was amazing, and I just thought I'd ask. Thank you for everything that you guys do, as always. Cheers from RJ. I considered it briefly when we did the remaster came out.
Yeah,
about doing like
or updated revisit of it.
Well, I know. You know what I was thinking was a crash course on Magic, because Magic in Dark Souls is like easy mode.
Yeah,
and so it's like, hey, everybody, are you new to Dark Souls? Try this method first. Before you go in and start trying all you're having a fist fight with the Capper Demon, try Magic. Here's how it works. Like you've got 3 tiers of magic and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, because it's really easy to make a magic build in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And they're very powerful. But actually, I should make one for magic, and I should make one for the giant dad. How to get the fire Zweihander, because it turns out that if you start the game and you go to, you remember how I showed people how to kill the guy that lets you upgrade your bonfires faster?
Yeah.
Is that if you go in that horrible skeleton catacombs and you death run in a very specific order, that you pick up enough materials and then enough souls from the boss to take a regular weapon to +5 and then to make that a fire weapon like 10 minutes from starting the game. And so you end up with a way more powerful weapon within the first 10 minutes of the game. So anyway, RJ, I'll take it under advisement. If I do it, I probably won't make John sit through yet more Dark Souls. Also, I don't have my Dark Souls remastered. I'll let Michael borrow it because I needed it. I needed it gone. I needed it to be gone from here.
I understand.
Hannibal Montana writes in and says, "Dear Jeff and John, recently I read a headline, not sure if you covered it in the first half of the show, John mentioned it, that GameStop will be selling comics. At first I thought this made sense, since my local GameStops have been devoting more and more floor space to merchandise like t-shirts and figurines, with digital becoming more and more the primary method of buying games. It was a logical progression. But on second thought, it seems like pivoting to another industry that's being taken over by digital distribution. Add to the fact that most of the merch that they have, at least at my local stores, is heavily discounted or on clearance, and it doesn't seem like a recipe for longevity. Personally, as someone who has yet to catch up with the current generation, they're one of the few sources locally I have for used games, and I feel like that's a market that will never quite go away until one of the big 3 commit to an all-digital console. Tell me what you think of this. I know you're drowning in comic book stores in Austin, but could they become the primary sources for people living in towns without one? Regards, Hannibal, Montana."
So I read a little bit about this. I don't think I mentioned it in the first half of the podcast.
Did you mention it before we started?
I think I mentioned it to you before we started, and you were. I think it was like, was this a news item that you were going to talk about? You're like, I don't know anything about that. I was like, all right, I don't think it's a good idea.
There you go.
Or I didn't say I don't think it's a good idea. I was like, I have no opinion of it. From what I read, is that they're only doing it in select, like it's a limited number of GameStops. They're testing the market with it.
Okay.
The idea is that they'll be carrying some Marvel, some DC, and then some Image and Oni Press books.
And is this current run month by month?
No one knows what it is yet.
Okay.
I think the reason is because there were SKUs that popped up in a GameStop computer system, and someone took a picture of it, and it's like some Black Panther books. I don't know if it's like the latest stuff or if it's just like, oh, we're going to carry these graphic novels.
Right.
On one hand, I do think it's a good idea. I mean, because the funny thing is, ever since GameStop bought ThinkGeek, they've been kind of trying to carry more than just video games, because apparently half their store not being about video games is apparently the thing now.
Yeah. I find most of their store is not about video games anymore.
Yeah.
Like they've got the games you want behind the counter. And
what's really weird,
is just
a little bit of a tangent before I go back to my point. I went to the mall over the weekend.
Okay.
They have a ThinkGeek store, and I walked around in it. You know, they had a lot of stuff there. It was ThinkGeek store.
Right.
There was some stuff that I was like, oh, I totally want to buy that. How much is that? Oh, that's way overpriced. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then 2 stores over was a GameStop, all the same items. Some of them marked down at a discount.
Oh, there you go.
As compared to, like, not stuff I would have bought, but I noticed that they were more expensive at the Geek store than they were at the GameStop store. And they're literally like two store slots away.
Yeah.
And it was just like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
They're the same company. But anyways, back to my point. I don't think it's a bad thing, especially if they carry stuff like like the Overwatch comics or the Dark Souls comic or stuff like that. Like actually get like the video game themed comics. I actually think that'd be pretty good. Because that's a cross brand. So on one hand, it's like, yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. You can get your Marvel stuff there. You can get some select books. I don't know if they're single issues or if they're trades. Like I didn't see anything mentioned between the two. So if it's single issues, I wonder if they'll even be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Now, if it's collections, trade paperbacks, graphic novels, I think that's probably what we're going to see, or if they do implement it, that's probably what's going to end up going the route of, so that they can kind of do what things like places like Borders and other bookstores started doing, where they have like, oh, there's a little graphic novel section,
sure,
and you can buy the collected editions of all these comics or whatnot. I think it's going to be more towards that. So on one hand, it's like, oh, it's cool because it's getting comics into other markets. It's in front of people's faces. People go to video game stores. People go to GameStop. So clearly they're going to see those. They're going to go, you know what? I haven't read a comic in a while, and I'll buy this comic book. Now you're not going to get, and then maybe they'll go, oh man, this is really good. I want more like this. Oh, there's not a lot more like this at GameStop. Well, watch. You know what? I have a comic shop that's down the road that I never go to. I'll go in there and see if I can get more of this comic or whatnot.
Sure.
I think that could be great. Having said that, given the state of the product that I've seen in every GameStop that I've gone into, with the stuff that's like merch, like T-shirts and pop vinyls and doodads and whatever, I don't think it's going to end up being good.
No.
I think it's going to be a clusterfuck. I think it's going to be a stack of stuff that's not organized in any way, any proper way, shape, or form, and it's going to be something that people look at and just like and kind of walk away from.
Yeah. For my money, I think that it's I think it's a bit confused.
Yeah, I agree,
because I mean, maybe I guess the whole idea. See, in spite of the fact that I'm able to write my games off and that I do spend quite a bit more than the average person on video games every week, right? I still recognize that $60 is not a super inexpensive. Okay, most people don't buy one video game a week, right?
Yeah, they buy one a month.
New video game a week. One a month, maybe. Certainly, they're not buying 3 new video games a week like me. And even I would go into GameStop and I'm going to be spending like $100. Like, I don't want to add another $20 doodad on top of that. Like, I came here to buy games, or I came here to buy, like, if I was going to buy something else, it would be like a controller or something, you know, if it was an impulse buy, it would probably be something associated with gaming, because if I wanted toys, I would go to a toy store, and if I wanted comics,
I'd go to there's not really a toy store you can go to anymore, so.
There's a couple in some malls, but I mean, yeah, you are correct. The last time I went into a toy store in a mall, it was mostly pop vinyls.
Well, I just meant that Toys R Us is gone.
Oh yeah. I think that GameStop is dying.
I agree.
I think that the used game market, that the ability for them that people have twigged to the idea that they buy your games for $1 and then sell them back to other people for $50. That they're robbing you. They're robbing you like every pawn shop and consignment store robs you.
Yeah.
And that for a while there, it was worth it to people to take your old games in and maybe get $100 off of a new system. But I feel like increasingly, as their margins got smaller with Steam sales, digital sales,
and people who just went, you know what, I don't want to trade my games in anymore.
And Amazon, don't forget that, like, Amazon, I got same day delivery for games off of Amazon before, free with Prime,
and at a discount as well if you pre-ordered it, like, which includes up to the day before.
Right. So they've got competition. Like, they for a long time languished and abused their customers when they didn't have any competition with the whole pre-order thing, and like, you got to pre-order the games and all the shit that I've complained about over the years. And I think that side of their business is going down, and that they're looking for a way to make up for that, and they're trying to use comic books and merchandise. And to me, it comes off as desperate, because I don't go to that store to buy comic books or merchandise. I go to buy video games.
Yeah. So. Now, I mean, for people who don't have comic stores, could it be beneficial for them? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, but in all honesty,
again, Comixology, like you were just talking about, you probably get a better comic store.
Comixology, or you'll probably be able to get those same collections on Amazon for better. Right. For better price. Like, and I hate to say that too, but you probably will get them for better price at Amazon, because those same, if they go the route of collected editions and hardcovers and graphic novels and stuff like that of comic stories, you're almost assuredly going to get them better on Amazon, better price, or
And when it comes to used games, I mean, like, Best Buy's buy back your games and sell used games. They sell used games now.
Yeah,
like. I don't know. I feel like boutique collectors, you can get used games for lower price. GameStop's just never been very good at customer service, and I feel like that's one of the reasons that I don't care that they're going away, because there was a GameStop that was very near my house that I went to buy every game from Rage Select, and when they had that big quality of life thing and they switched managers, the new manager got mad at me because I would come in there every week and buy 4 brand new video games, and I wouldn't trade anything in, and I wouldn't pre-order anything, and I wouldn't play their stupid fucking game. And I told him why I wouldn't do that, and he still would get mad at me when I would go in there and be like, I would like all the brand new games, please. And then they just shut it down. And there's no GameStop near my house now. So the nearest thing to my house is a Best Buy. And I just go to Best Buy now. So on the domain.
Oh, okay.
It used to be one in the domain.
Okay.
Which is very
closer.
There's
like 3 GameStops in the area.
Mm-hmm. But that was the closest GameStop to my house, if you don't count Fry's, which I don't, because they suck.
Yeah.
And they're fucking awful.
Fry's is awful when it comes to their...
I have a game store so close to my house, and they're so bad that like I couldn't go there and buy God of War the day that it comes out. Or I don't know, maybe I could, but I wouldn't try, because the last time I went in there and asked them for a brand new game, they laughed at me. They
literally laughed
laughed at me.
I can't remember what game it was, but there was a couple of games I had gone in there into Fry's and actually went like, hey, I'd like to get this game. And they're like, it's not out yet. I'm like, yeah, it is. It came out today. No, it doesn't come out for like 3 more weeks. Yeah. No, it came out today. Well, we're not getting it for 3 more weeks.
It's like, okay, bye. I'll go to any other store.
Yeah.
Literally any store that's
and
not
it's like
this.
I was there for something else, but I was like, oh yeah, and it's like, and then I'll go to Best Buy to get. Wait, why am I going to Best Buy to get this game? I can get it here at Fry's. Since I had to buy this other thing.
Right.
And then I was like, and then they said that, and I was like, all right, I'll just go to Best Buy
for all of it.
Well, no, it was something I could only get at Fry's. Like I couldn't get it at Best Buy. I already knew I couldn't get it at Best Buy. Okay. The thing I was actually there to get. So I was just like, all right, I'll just grab this and buy my thing and then go. And then, but as far as like I said, I don't know. I just see that stuff. It's going to end up cluttering the walls.
Yeah.
And
the thing is that GameStop's, I mean, you remember what GameStop was like before they started selling merch? They were empty as fuck.
Yeah.
It was just games on the walls.
Well, it's
their pitiful PC section, and that was it.
Well, my other point is, like, if you look at how they treat their magazines and strategy guides, they don't treat them well. I very rarely, unless it's like a hardcover special edition strategy guide, Prima strategy guide, most expensive, whatever, they all look beat the fuck up.
Yep.
And that's why it's like, more than anything, that's why I've never actually bought a strategy guide from them. Mostly because I don't want one. Yeah. But if I like, there were a couple that I contemplated doing it, but when I saw the state that the copy they had was in, I was like, no, never mind. I don't need it, because it's beat the fuck up. Those comics are going to be beat the fuck up.
Their stores in general are beat the fuck up. Yeah. And I realize that's because a lot of their stores encourage people to come in and handle the products that are on the walls. But it's just, it's like you said, I don't want to buy a thing. Like, I don't know. I still get mad at them because they take all the discs out of all of they don't have a shrink wrapped version of the video game that I came to buy. Like, that they take the discs out and put them in a slip in a drawer, and then you give them the case and they open it up and take the disc out and put the disc in the case, and I find that offensive.
No, I don't buy those games. I refuse to buy those.
Yeah.
If it's not shrink wrapped, I refuse to buy it.
Anyway, all right, we got a couple more questions and then one nice story. Okay. Question, the next comes from Joe. Joe writes in and says, hello, Rage Crew. Hope it all went well, or hope all it well. He says, Jeff, you mentioned recently that you started watching the anime Mob Psycho 100, which I did, and I finished it last week. And I have 2 questions related to it. Question, have you finished it, and what are your thoughts? Yes, I will tell you my thoughts in a minute. My own thoughts, optional, you don't have to read this. He says, personally speaking, I prefer Mob Psycho 100 over One Punch Man. Don't get me wrong, I do like One Punch Man, but I feel like it set up the same joke over and over again and basically has all it has to say after the Deep Sea King story arc, whereas Mob Psycho 100, I find that it has more to say when its story with all it does was subverting expectations, particularly episode 5 and 6 with Mob, versus, this one guy being my favorite episode of the series, with the clash of ideology that you rarely hear. Thanks for reading my question. Take care, folks. And that's from Joe.
I have also seen all of Mob Psycho 100. So.
Did you watch the Netflix show? I feel like
the live action Netflix show?
Yes.
No, I did not. I just watched the anime.
I thought that the Netflix show was new, which I don't think it is, or that it just came on Netflix, which I don't think it did. I started watching it. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't work." I don't think anime works when you convert it to live action. I think when anime is anime, like there's especially Mob Psycho 100 because there's a lot of like kind of warping and weirdness and movement. It'd be like, if you try to convert Fooly Cooley to a live action show, it would look weird because of all the weird body morphing and big head modes and things like that happen in that show. As for the anime, I really enjoyed it. I would say that I like One Punch Man better because One Punch Man is the kind of dumb goddamn power anime. I like the idea of taking a Dragon Ball style power anime and then making a comedy out of it that never actually turns into a drama, that sort of turns a little bit into a drama, but is mostly just like, I mean, spoiler alert, you guys, he kills everybody with one punch. Like he never ends up facing anybody. It's like, I love the idea of like, is this the one? Is this the powerful demon who can finally stand up to the mighty fist of Saitan? No, he's dead.
Yeah.
But what about this one? An even badder motherfucker coming from the depth. No, he's dead too. But nope. And
it's a joke that never gets old for you.
It never gets old for me.
So here's the thing. I like them both equally for different reasons.
Okay.
Like it's weird because if you actually look at them on paper on what they're about, they're kind of the same story.
Yes, I agree.
They're literally the exact same story. The difference is one is a comedy and the other is less of a comedy.
Yeah.
It's still a comedy, but it's less so.
I feel like Mob Psycho 100 is like a remix of One Punch Man where there's like different characters have different like attributes from characters are remixed into other characters.
Yeah.
And so you just end up with a hodgepodge.
Yeah. Well, it's like again, One Punch Man is straight up spoof. Mob Psycho 100 is just like a dramedy. Like it has dramatic moments, and the dramatic moments are really good.
Yeah.
But it is still a comedy in a lot of ways, and it's not so much that it's a spoof.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the difference between. But I like them both equally for that reason, is because even though they're technically the exact same plot, they're different enough in the execution that it's.
To me, it's almost like Mob Psycho 100 takes the entire series to get to where One Punch Man goes in episode 3, where they go to the big evolution center and they have the big guy, except that again that it's. Oh, and then he punches him, and then the thing is over, and then like, yay. But I did like. Well, I don't want that to sound like I didn't like Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of brand new anime, so I was looking through, and I was like, oh right, I've been meaning to watch this. I bought it on the Sony network.
Oh, okay.
And it was a dub only, and I was like, fucking god. So I finally just broke. It was on Netflix. I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. Oh, it's a live action show. I was like, all right, fuck it, Crunchyroll. But I don't think I'm going to keep Crunchyroll because. Okay. I was looking like there's a new Macross that I wanted to watch, not on Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
like that new Fooly Cooley, not on Crunchyroll. Like
it might be on Funimation.
I don't think it's a Funimation because it's a.
Okay.
What's the company? Anyway.
Yeah.
But I really liked Regan. I liked his character. I really liked kind of the way that he. I liked his attitude. I kind of liked his whole thing when he runs into the bad guys of like, you're all a bunch of children. I kind of like that. I kind of like that deconstruction of looking at all these superpowered anime monsters and going like, oh, you all never grew up. That's the problem. And like, I kind of like that as a moral to the story. The animation bugged me a little bit from time to time as it was just a little bit fluid. It was
a little
flat.
bit experimental in the way it did it. But sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes it worked to great effect. Yeah.
But all in all, I liked it. If people have recommendations for stuff like that, I'm down.
I can make one recommend. Not. I don't know how you would feel about it or how you'd be into it, but I think you'd probably like it. Megalobox. It's really good. It's not a comedy in any way, shape, or form. It's literally it's a remake of Joe the Boxer.
Okay. It's the robot boxing guy on Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really good show. It's not done with the first season. I think it's like 13 episodes, but they've only up to episode like 10 right now. So it's about to wrap up. It's only supposed to be 13 episodes. Like, it's not going to continue past that. But it's like a futuristic reimagining of Joe the Boxer or Joe the Champion. I forget what the show was called. The original manga / anime that it's based on.
I cut somebody's arm off for One Punch Man season 2. But
it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's being worked on, not by the same studio, but it's being worked on.
I know. Do it already. God damn. All right. Joe writes in and says, "Hello, Jeff and John. Sorry if you've answered this question before. I've listened to so many of your podcasts since the loading bar that I'm not sure anymore. So I was just promoted to the general manager at my store, and the amount of garbage customer complaints I have to deal with is driving me insane." Anyway, is there any horrible customer service stories that stick out to you or John? Ones you remember from years ago and are like, man, I should have said this shit to them. Alternative hypothetical question: if you were able to get free food for life from any fast food place, what would it be? Keep raging on. From Joe. What fast food place would you like to get free food for life at?
Free food for life.
Wendy's?
Fast food place.
Long John Silver's. Because then I don't have to pay for it, so I wouldn't feel as ripped off when I eat it and want to die.
I mean, where do you draw the line at fast food? I mean, would you consider Chipotle a fast food place? Okay, so it's a place that has a drive-through.
Yes.
Okay, so have to have a drive-through.
Yes. Well, it doesn't have to have a drive-through, but you know, Chipotle doesn't fall into that category, but Subway does. I'm gonna say Subway does. Okay. I'm talking about places where you can get a meal for $5, like pretty consistently.
I mean,
churches.
If I could split it between Taco Cabana and Burger King, then yeah.
I have the solution. I know what it is. It's a Taco Bell that has one of those A&W restaurants inside of it.
Do they even have those anymore?
French fries and tacos at the same time. No.
Do those don't exist anymore?
No. I think the A&W either went out of business or everybody it was weird. It was like a Parasite. It was the Parasite store.
It was Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and KFC Taco Bell.
Okay.
And then there was the A&W that they were like limited.
What? KFC Taco Bell?
Yeah.
That's the one that I choose. I choose you, KFC Taco Bell.
Yeah.
It's like Pikachu. Any customer service stories you'd like to get off your chest, John?
Oh, God. All the time. Every day. Every single day of my life.
That's why I picked this email for you. I figured,
every single day.
Jeff's always talking about Dark Souls. I'm just going to set the microphone down, play that new Hitman sniper mission, and let John be like, and another thing.
No, I deal with people every day. There's shit that will piss me off one day, and then like the next day I'll forget about it because there's something else.
Yeah,
that's equally as stupid. So there are people who don't read what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
For services. There's people who call into companies not really wanting tech support or customer service that will they just want to talk to somebody, so they'll make up some weird thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then waste my time and the company's time to because they just want to talk to somebody.
Sure.
I've also had to talk to people who were like legitimately fucking crazy. A guy who claimed that we could see him through his computer monitor because he worked for the government and he knew how that technology worked and he knew what technology what companies that we worked for had access to, and he knew that stuff like that. But I mean, like, I think right now my biggest pet peeve is that it's summer, or it's the start of summer.
Sure.
So now you have a lot of parents who go to work and leave their kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so
are you getting called by unattended children?
Well, I'm getting called by unattended children who are actually calling about the service, or I'm getting called by the parents at work who are pissed off because their kid won't stop fucking bothering them over some issue. And so they're calling us. They don't quite know what the issue is, but we need to fix it because their child is throwing a hissy fit.
Sure.
and
it's your job, John.
and it's our fault that their child is throwing a hissy fit.
Yeah. I mean, who else's fault?
Even if
be?
they can't tell me what exactly the issue is, because they don't fucking know.
They don't fucking know.
But their child has been calling them nonstop since noon, and just.
That's your fault, man.
And I gotta fix. It really feels like lately a lot of customers call in, want to say what their issue is, and they'd be like, "Just fix it and hang up."
Yeah.
And like it's like, no, that's not how this works.
Yep.
Or customers that'll be like, "Okay, here's your issue. Here's how we can fix that." No, I don't want to do that. Give me another option. There is no other option. Yeah, there is. Give me another one. No, there is no other option. Then I would like to speak to your supervisor to get that other option. There is no other option. They will tell you the exact same thing. If you want to speak to the supervisor, I will get you the supervisor, but they will tell you the same thing. There's another option. Get the supervisor. There's no other option. All right, I want your supervisor. Now, I'll keep going up the chain until I get what I want. Well, what do you want? No, I'm not going to tell you what I want. Yeah. I want you to tell me what I want to hear.
Another option, John. God.
That's the other thing. It's like there's a lot of people who will... They don't want to tell you what they're asking for.
Yeah.
They want you to infer it and then offer it so that they can feel like that they were justified in wanting what they wanted.
Sure.
Now, it's like I've had customers who be like, well, this is my problem. I'm upset because of this, and this, and I'm just not happy about it. And what are you going to do to fix it? Okay, well, this thing that you're not happy about is how this service works. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can be done to fix it. Well, I'm just upset and blah, 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 blah. I understand that. I understand you're upset. Blah, blah, blah. Well, can you see what I'm getting at? No, not unless you fucking tell me. What are you fucking getting at? I don't want, no, I need you to understand what I'm wanting. I don't understand what you want if you don't fucking tell me.
Don't free shit. Free shit.
Oh my fucking God. Like the people wanting free shit. Like I love it. Like a guy bought something.
Yeah.
At the place that I work at. And he was like, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
What are my options? I was like, well, we can't replace it because unfortunately we just don't have the capability to replace it. We no longer have that product.
Right.
So I'll have you send it back to us. We'll send you all the materials that you need so you can send it back so it doesn't cost you anything. And when we get it back at our facility, we will issue a full refund and give you all of your money back.
Right.
And what else?
And
that's it.
And that's all.
No, I've been with you, shopping with your company for years.
Right.
And you need to give me more compensation than that.
No.
If you go to a store and return an item and they can't replace the item, they give you your money back. They don't give you your money back and then give you a bunch of free shit.
Yeah.
They just give you your money back. That's all we're required to do is give you your fucking money back.
That's true.
But no, they're like, no, you know what? Fucking close my account down. I will never use your service and fuck you and I hope you get fired.
Cool.
It's like,
bye.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they call back wanting all that undone because they didn't actually want, I called them on their bluff and apparently they wanted to speak to a manager because I'm a bad representative because I let them just close their account.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have no problem saying the actual name of the company. I used to work for Dell. And I used to do technical support for Dell. And
I worked there too.
And the thing is that
one of the stories that I mentioned just a minute ago was about that.
Was a major accounts division for Dell, which meant business computers, and it was mostly laptops. And people would call in, and you would have to try to fix their computer. But the thing is that we were very good. If it was a part that the customer could replace themselves, we would drop ship them the part. Yeah. And if it needed a technician to do it, we would send somebody out, usually overnight. It was called next business day.
Yeah.
That was the contract that they bought. So the thing is, you have to tell me a little bit about your problem. You got to tell me a little bit. Like you don't need to have a computer science degree. Fuck it, no, man. I can 90-year-old grandma and put her on the phone. Tell me what you see, and Ethel. We'll figure this out because I need to know what to ship to the guy. I need to know the guy isn't going to bring a whole other computer to your house. If it's a laptop and it needs a video card, he's going to bring a video card. Or if it's a motherboard, he's going to bring a motherboard. Or if it's a keyboard, he's going to bring a keyboard, right? He's not going to bring every single part for your laptop because that would be inefficient. He's also not going to he's not going to come to your place with a whole other laptop and then look at your laptop until he figures out what's wrong with it and then replace it. I'm going to figure out what's wrong with it, and then I'm going to send him out there with a motherboard, a hard drive, a battery, whatever, a bottom case, a chassis, LCD, LEDs, right? Whatever the component is, I'm going to send it to him. I'm going to say, you go, you fix that. And 90% of the time, 99% of the time, my rates on this shit were solid. And most of our division was as well, where it's like we didn't make too many mistakes. Sometimes you get a customer who calls in and says, my computer's slow. And you do some stuff and you're like, okay, I just have to make a guess. I'm like 60% on this. But most of the time, you've been there for a year. You know what the problem is. They need RAM. Fucking drop ship some RAM. Have them swap it out. One day, though, a guy called up and he was just like, I will not tell you anything. And I was like, well, then I will not ship you anything. And he was like, let me talk to your manager. And I said, no. Because of that particular time and place, it was like, no. Your contract says you got to tell me what's wrong with your computer before I fulfill your warranty. He's like, that's not what it says. And I'm like, sir, I assure you that if you will go find your thing and read it, you will find out that that's what it says. And he's like, I want to talk to somebody else. And I put him on hold, and I called up one of my L2s, and I said, like, hey, I just need you to listen to this call because I'm going to tell this guy no a bunch of times. And, like, we can tell him no. Like, as long as you're not being an ass about it, you could tell them no. And I spent an hour on the phone with this motherfucker because he was like, I want to talk to somebody else. I was like, sorry, nobody else. You can hang up and call back in if you like, but I'm not going to transfer you to another person. They will tell you the same thing. I want to talk to your manager. No, I'm not going to let you do that either. Like, if you tell me what's wrong with your computer, we'll fix it. I'll fix it tomorrow. I'll fix it the next day. He says, no. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm like, well, then your computer will remain broken. And I sat there for an hour going round and round with him. He at one point said that he ran the local newspaper in his town and he was going to print a nasty story about me in his newspaper about how I would refuse to help him fix his computer because I'm a meanie bobini.
Oh, there's a couple companies I've worked at where I've talked to people who were prominent YouTubers. And even went as far as to tell me they're a prominent YouTube channel.
Yes.
That only had like 50 subscribers.
John, I am a prominent YouTuber. Respect me, John.
Or 200 subscribers.
Respect me. We're going to play Dark Souls more. Respect me. I'm a prominent YouTuber.
Yeah. And how they're going to, or they are part of a major guild of, in this gaming industry or whatever. And that they're going to tell all the guild, and that entire guild is going to boycott us as a company.
Oh, no.
And
40 people aren't going to shop at your online retailer.
Yeah, and it's so I've gotten that. There was one thing when you were talking about the
one time one guy said, do you know who I am?
Oh, I get that all the time.
And I said, no, sir, I don't know who you are. And he's like, I play golf with Michael Dell's grandfather. And I was like, okay. Like, he spilled a glass of wine in his laptop. He didn't have the spill coverage warranty. We don't cover glass of wine in your laptop. That was it. Do you know who I am? And it was like, no. And, like, it was almost, what are you supposed to say when somebody says that to you? Do you know who I am? I'm your neighbor's mailman's uncle. You're like, okay. Does that give you, do you have powers because of that? Is that... special privileges?
Oh, no. I actually had something like that happen at a company where they were like, oh, I am the best friend of the company owners. And this is a different company, not Dell, and I'm not going to name who it is, but I am the best friend of the father of the guy who owns your entire company. So I know who. It's like, do you know, so you better give me what I want. And I'm like, I can't give you what you want because we don't do that. And he was like, well, then you need to break protocol and give it to me. And I was like, can you hold on a second? I went and talked to the call center director at that company. I was like, hey, I know I don't bother you very often, but this guy says he's this person. And the guy looked at me and went, and? I was like, I just want your permission to tell him that we can't do anything. And he goes, here's what you tell him. Go back and say, if he really has that problem and he really desperately wants this, take it up with his best friend, who's the father of the company, and go through him to do it, because that's something we don't do.
Yeah.
And if he claims that he'll get it if he goes through, the owner of the company, then let him go through the owner of the company, and the owner of the company will sign off on that, and then it'll be done.
Yeah.
Or he won't, and the guy's full of shit, and it won't happen.
Yep.
And if the guy asks to escalate, you can escalate directly to me. Again, call center director, not a L2, not a manager, not a next level up manager, but the guy who actually is the guy in charge of the entire building I'm in. He said you can transfer directly to me, and that's something that never happens. But the one thing that always did bother me working at Dell is people who would call and was like, I think you guys sent me a lemon. and therefore I'm implementing lemon law.
The lemon law.
And I'm like, sir, that's not a real thing.
Yep.
That's just something people made up.
Lemon law.
It's not a real thing. It's not an actual law. It doesn't actually exist. No.
I always wanted to. I
got that at Dell more than I got it at a few different companies, but I got that at Dell more than anywhere else.
Oh, that shit was well alive in the 90s. Well alive in the 90s. But I was, whenever they say that, I always felt like that. Well, then I'm making a citizen's arrest for you trying to use fake laws. Yeah. Anyway, we got one more, and this one isn't really a question. It's just a nice email, and then we're gonna wrap it up. This Angie writes in and says, "Howdy, Jeff and John." So this isn't really a question, but I just wanted to say it anyway. Thank you. It's a bit of backstory. I was on a transplant list for 4.5 years and very ill. My kidneys were only functioning at about 6% capacity. I was very near death. Last year on June 25th, I was given the incredible gift of a kidney. I'm so thankful to my donor and my donor's family. It changed my life. It's given me so much hope for the future. I also wanted to thank you for all the marvelous content you put out. It got me through some of the darkest times of my life when the despair that I'd die before an organ was available would make sleeping impossible. I'd turn on Rage Select and fall asleep to dick jokes. So thank you. I know you probably don't view what you're doing as life-saving, but having something to laugh at, lift my spirits, helped me tremendously. Just wanted you guys to know that you're appreciated. Sincerely, Angie.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Angie. It brings a moisture to my ocular implants. To hear
it's a nice, warm, tingly feeling at the cockles of our hearts.
Yes, that you're doing. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. And if our shenanigans were in any way responsible for helping you through a dark time in your life, well then, boy howdy, there could be a better use of my time than
I consider that. If one person, thus you,
there you go,
got through some tough shit, then I consider my life a success.
Woo, it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
This entire site was worth it.
That's right. That's right. The 5 years and 3,000 videos. We did it. We did it. And that's it for this week. Thanks, everybody, for writing in. mail@ragesite.com is the email address. Please write in. We always need questions. And because I don't get a lot of questions every week, there's a very good possibility that if you write in, your question will get asked on that show. So if we missed you last week, get it in this week. And with that, I think there's got to be one more KFC Taco Bell. I've never been. I want to get a Sadness Bowl and then put nachos on it. We got to do it, John.